Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here at Media Day, which can only mean one thing. The NBA season is almost here, guys. I'm Amanda Pflugrad alongside Marc D'Amico, and we have Eddie House in the house joining us all day at the desk. Eddie, thanks so much for your time.
Oh, man, I'm glad to be here, and I'm excited about this season. Especially after what happened yesterday.
Wait, what happened yesterday?
Oh, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get right into it, but really quickly, we're bringing back the Twitter questions for our show today. We want to make sure that you, the viewers, are able to be involved. So if you do have a question for either of us or the players, go to Twitter, tweet us your question using the hashtag Celtics Media Day. We'll try to get through as many as we can. But guys, getting right to it, I mean, what a day yesterday. The Woj bomb goes off on my phone, and I feel like the Boston Celtics right now are kind of assembling the Avengers, it seems like, with the Jrue Holiday trade that happened. But acquiring Jrue Holiday from the Portland Trail Blazers in exchange for Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon and 2 first-round draft picks. Just what are your thoughts on the Celtics making this move, Eddie?
Well, I thought that at the point that Jrue Holiday got traded to Portland, we all understood that he probably wasn't going to stay there. Right now, Portland's pretty much NBA Siberia. Nobody really, really though, like they don't win. They can't attract free agents. They have a lot of young talent over there. But if you are a veteran and you have the resume of a Jrue Holiday, you don't want to be in Portland. You want to go somewhere where you can compete for a championship. So I knew Miami was going to be after him, and I was hoping, and I had an extensive talk with Kevin Miller, with also with Chris Forsberg, like what can we do to get Jrue Holiday? And I was on the plane yesterday, right, flying in here, and I seen it on the bottom line, and I dropped a big F-bomb, loud, right? And everybody's looking at me like, what's going on? What's wrong? I said, oh, the Celtics is traded for Jrue Holiday. Yes, I'm extremely excited. So it changed the landscape of the Eastern Conference, and I believe that this is a team we do need maybe some more depth on the front court, but besides that, what we have is definitely championship caliber.
Listen, 5 days ago, when the trade happens and Damian Lillard is going to the Milwaukee Bucks, this was the worst case scenario for the Milwaukee Bucks of the result of that, right? They knew that Jrue Holiday was going to get traded somewhere. They did not want him here in Boston. Now he's here in Boston. And the Celtics have the guard that 3 years ago Damian Lillard said on a podcast, that's the best defensive guard in the NBA. So you know that there's a little space in Dame's mind where Jrue is living. So a great acquisition to me, in my opinion. This gives the Celtics the best top 6 in the NBA. They upgraded the top of their roster. And, Eddie, my opinion is always you win titles with the very top of your roster. You don't win it with the best 10-man rotation. You win it at the very top of the roster. And the Celtics upgraded the top of the roster yesterday.
He comes in having that NBA championship experience. He's also known as just a great locker room guy, winning the NBA Sportsmanship Award in 2020-21 season. What can he bring this Celtics team also, just being in the locker room and veteran presence?
Well, besides the locker room, veteran presence, being a great human being and all those things, I think on the court is the most important thing he's going to bring to the Celtics is, think about the last 2 seasons, right? We've had problems organizing ourselves in big-time moments. We turn the basketball over. We finally have a true point guard. And what I mean by that, a guy that can organize, a guy that's a pass first, and then he defends. And his versatility on the defensive end is second to none, where he can switch depending on it 1 through 4. And we've seen it before where he's defended 4s and just had to get physical with them. You don't want him to do that every single possession, but having that versatility and then having Derek White over there, I just think that this team has got so much stronger on the perimeter as far as defensively, and that was some of the things that we were lacking. But he's going to bring a sense of organizing the team, getting guys in spots. And I think the most important thing that people are missing out on is that now Jayson Tatum or Jaylen Brown are not going to be the guys initiating the offense. They'll be catching the ball with a live dribble, and they'll be catching it in scoring positions to where they're able to go to work, and he'll be able to set the table for them.
The other thing you got to think about with Jrue is that when this guy was in Milwaukee, we're looking at a guy who was maybe the number 2 option on a championship contending team, right? They go to the finals and win. You know, you could maybe say Middleton was a number 2, but he might have been borderline the number 2 scorer on that team. He comes over here, he's number 3 at best, right? Like, he doesn't have to have all that pressure on his shoulders every time down the floor. He can orchestrate the offense, make sure the Celtics get into their sets, but then let Jayson and Jaylen kind of take over from there. And I think that's going to help him preserve himself at the other end of the court.
Can I say one quick thing about that? I like what you said about that, the 1 and 2. I think that with adding him now, we don't know who the 3 is.
Exactly. You've got a 3 and a 4.
Whoever is going to be, they could, and it goes on a night-to-night basis. You know who number 1 and number 2 is going to be, or you want to say 1 and 1A. You know what that's going to be. As far as the next option after those 2 guys, it could be Drew one night. It could be Derek White one night. It could be Al Horford another night. It could be Porzingis another night. And I think that versatility on the offensive end, added with the defensive versatility, that's where you come together as a championship caliber team, and that's what I think this trade has done. Again, I feel like we still, or maybe we need a little bit more depth. Because Al doesn't go back-to-back, and we could talk about that a little later. I have a few names that I'll throw out there, but I really believe that this is a championship caliber team. And if they go out there and, number one, the health is the number one issue. And if we stay healthy, we're going to be very hard to contend with.
To follow up, Porzingis, you mentioned him. Celtics acquired him this offseason, just adding another big, really, to what they have with Al Horford, but obviously now Robert Williams is no longer here. How do you see Porzingis fitting in with this team?
Well, I think that what you lose with Rob, right, is you lose some rim protection, and you lose a guy that was versatile on the defensive end, where he was switching out at times when he was healthy on guards and being able to keep the guard in front of him, contest shots, rebounding the basketball. And I think one thing that Rob did fantastic that we might miss a little bit, it was the offensive rebounding. He was a great offensive rebounder. He had a knack for the basketball. But I think when you add Porzingis, Rob didn't really look at the basket unless it was a lob. Now you got a threat to where you can throw it into the post. If they want to switch on pick and rolls, it's a size difference. You could work him out. He can catch the ball at the elbow. He can ISO. He can do so many different things. So I'm looking at that pick and roll with him and Drew, with him and Derek White, with him and Tatum, with him and Brown. Those are tough matchups for people to have to try to figure out, what are you going to give up? Because on the back end, you're going to have a Jaylen or Jayson rolling up, or a Drew rolling up, or a Derek White rolling up. So now you're going to have to figure out, what are we going to do with Al spacing the court? Another great addition for this team.
You talked earlier about the Celtics' struggles kind of at the end of games in the playoffs, right? That's what's held them back from winning championships in the last couple of seasons. I don't think they're going to have those issues anymore. When you bring in a guy like Drew Holiday who can get the offense set and running, and then you add a guy like Kristaps Porzingis who you can throw the ball to in the post like you talked about. I mean, he's so versatile offensively, and it's just an element that the Celtics have not had really ever. Since KG, I would say they've never had a guy that versatile. Maybe Al Horford in his early days.
He ain't as versatile as KG. Don't say that.
No. I'm saying since KG, this is the closest that we've had to that.
Right.
And adding that element around guys like Jayson and Jaylen with an element that they've never had around them, I think it's just going to help them execute at a higher level down the stretch in playoff games, and it's going to make the opposing teams have a much larger challenge of trying to slow them down when the going gets tough in those final minutes of key games.
There's no denying that you can replace a guy in Marcus Smart, really, and just his bulldog mentality. But how do you see this team now stepping up and that leadership role that he did have with this group, but also just his defensive mindset too, and maybe Jaylen and Jayson taking that next step and being even more vocal this year?
You hit the nail on the head right there. I think this is a chance for them to step forward in their leadership role. I think they had been taking back seats to Al Horford, to the vets, right? Al Horford, to Marcus Smart, who was here before they got here, and kind of took over the locker room as being the guy that's in there that's going to be verbal, but he's going to go out there and lay his life on the line, it seems like, every night, diving on the floor, putting his body in harm's way for a W. I think this is a great opportunity for both of these players to step up and show their leadership and take over the leadership role for this team. But again, when you assemble a team that has veterans, like we have veterans on this team, so guys that know how to play, all you have to do is just kind of remind. It's not you have to be a leader every single night. You could lead by example, but you got Drew Holiday, who's a leader in his own right. You got Al Horford, who's a leader in his own right. So you have depth in that area, but I do want to see them take a step, like when the going gets tough or when we need a bucket. I would love to see JT move out the way, I got this. Or Jaylen, if he's out move out the way, I got this. Or the same way on the defensive end, saying, hey, he got it going, let me go get him. I got him right now. I'll take him for the next few minutes. Don't worry about, I ain't even worried about scoring because I know we got Drew. I know we got Porzingis. I know we got Jaylen. So I could go expend some energy on the defensive end trying to lock this guy up. So I think they're going to have to take a step forward, and I'm interested to see that step that they're going to take.
And Jaylen Brown is now the longest tenured Celtic.
Isn't that weird?
I mean, that's crazy to think about.
So crazy to think.
But when you have that title, I think that comes along with even an additional amount of respect in the locker room. When you're the guy, exactly, you're the guy who's been here the longest. And I do think, listen, are Jayson and Jaylen these loud voices in the locker room that are boisterous and they're going to go after people in the locker room? Probably not. That's really not their type of leadership. But to Eddie's point, it might be more on the court, really, like leading by example. They're going to have their voice. There's no question about that. But I do think that maybe in the voice steps up a little bit. But on the court in particular, I think you're going to see much more of a leadership role from those guys. And when Brad Stevens made that trade for Porzingis, I think there was a part of him that was calculating in there and saying, well, you know, part of the addition of this move is also giving these guys more of a leadership opportunity. And when he makes a calculated decision like that, I think they're going to listen, and I think they're going to step up to the plate.
And you have Peyton Pritchard already saying that the guys, they're here early, they're working out. He's feeling that sense of urgency, and that both Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are setting that foundation early for this team heading into training camp. So that is exciting to see. But guys, you do look around just the East, and really, I mean, we can get into the tough competition of everything that's been going on, but the Milwaukee Bucks getting Damian Lillard teaming up with Giannis, how does this move really impact the competition now in the East, in the landscape?
Well, I think it was a great move for Milwaukee. And when I feel the big three, unless they are extremely smart basketball players and great on the defensive end, I think that the big three that are different, right? So Dame plays different. His style of play is very different than Chris Middleton and Giannis. Chris Middleton's is different from Dame and Giannis. And then Giannis is different from them too. So to me, that's a recipe for success. When you have the big three, very similar to the big three that was here. KG did something different than Ray did, and Paul did something different than, and they all had defensive versatility as well. And I think that one thing that Milwaukee is going to be lacking is perimeter defense, but their interior defense is second to none. When you talk about Giannis, what he can do at the rim protection, you talk about Brook Lopez, and you talk about Bobby Portis, who could come in and give you some versatility on the defensive end, switching out on point on guards and guarding the perimeter, but then also protecting the rim, getting down and dirty. So I think that they have great interior defense. But the thing is that when you're a really, really good player, you figure it out. And I think when you have something to play for, you play a little different. That screen that you maybe were laying on in Portland, you fighting over the top of that screen hard, because you know at the end of the day what you're fighting for. In Portland, there was nothing they was fighting for.
I think that the Celtics are they're the leaders in the pack, in my opinion. And when you're looking at the Eastern Conference, for a couple days, Milwaukee took the lead, but now that the Celtics got Drew, I think they're right back at the top. So I see the Celtics as the leaders. I think it's them and Milwaukee, and then everyone else. And when you look out west, I think it's a three-team race out there as well. Oh, we got Jordan Walsh on set.
What's up, Rook?
What's up? How are you?
Good. How are y'all doing?
First media day.
I know.
How's it going so far?
It's well. I haven't got kicked out of a line yet. So
well, you will in about 5 minutes.
How does that jersey feel on you, though?
Amazing. You see, the 2-7 is a new number. Excited.
That's what's up.
What made you choose 77? 27, okay.
So, I mean, Boston, all the numbers are retired, obviously, with the great history of players. I really didn't have, I had a limited, choice of numbers, and this was one of the ones I liked, so I chose this. Ended up working out, I hope.
Yes, it did. We look at you and coming in, obviously, you had a great performance out at Summer League. What did you take from that you're trying to kind of roll up into the start of this training camp?
Well, for me, the whole point of, Summer League was, to play like I would if I was with the Celtics, being able to back up guys like Tatum and Brown, just being able to complement their game, taking open shots, playing defense, being aggressive is what the coaches told me to do. And so I took that, with a great responsibility and went out there and did my best. And
shot 41% from three-point range? Is that something we can expect here going into the regular season?
I hope so. That's a great number.
Setting the tone.
For sure.
But when you were drafted, you said it was coming to the Celtics was a dream for you. What does it mean to be here now and just be a part of this team?
I mean, it means the world to me. Joining the Celtics, which, in my opinion, and knowing y'all's opinion, that's the best organization that there is in basketball. So it's to be in a place with such good history, with such good vets, to the team who can lead me to my future. It's an amazing feeling, especially being surrounded with guys, like Al, even coaches and staff like Brad and Joe. It's an amazing feeling. I'm glad that it was Boston, for sure.
I hear Al's been kind of taking you under his wing, offering you advice.
As a vet should do.
Yes. Tell us how that relationship has been.
I mean, it's amazing. He's been able to tell me a couple things. I've asked him a couple questions. Like, we have a gala coming up, and I asked him what I should wear, like accessories and all that. But he's been mentoring me.
You're asking Al for fashion advice?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that's the
wrong
best
question to ask him. You should be asking him, is he going to get you something?
Yeah, there you go.
He's supposed to be taking care of you that way. But let me flip to it. When you come out on the court, right, for the most part, you averaged 16 in summer league, right? You went out there, played, shot 41%, looked damn good, right? Very surprising to me because I really hadn't seen much film on you, but I was able to watch, and I was surprised at your offensive skills. But the thing that I think the team is really going to need is your defense. And how are you going to embrace that when you come in, subbing for Jayson or Jaylen? How are you going to embrace that role?
I feel like my defense is what got me here, is what, got me in the position that I'm in. And so I'm never going to forget where I came from. That's the foundation of my game, being a defender. I'm not always going to get the shots that I did in Summer League. I'm not always going to get those open opportunities. But I'm always going to be able to pick up 94 feet, guard the best player, get steals, be in the passing lanes. That's something I can do every night that I know I can bring to the team.
Okay, so say nobody ever seen you play before. Mm-hmm. What do you bring defensively besides, you be like your switching ability, your versatility? Talk about your skill set on the defensive end.
Of course, obviously, like you said, switching and being versatile, but also, just being active, being a guy who's, the energy on the court is unmatched. Diving for loose balls, screaming at the crowd, screaming at, teammates, just being an energy guy who uplifts everybody on the team by, getting stops or just being energetic in general.
I'll tell you something else that he brings. If he reaches his arms out, he might be able to touch you from over here.
Yeah, he could give me 5 real quick.
7 foot
let's try it.
Dab me off.
7 foot 1 3/4 on the wingspan. Number 11 of all of the players at the draft combine as a small forward. That doesn't happen all the time. How does that length impact your ability to defend? How do you use that to your advantage?
So, like you said, it's definitely an advantage. Being in the passing lanes, interrupting defenders or people on offense, really being able to get up in people and make them uncomfortable is the most biggest thing because, I can reach and still be back enough to where if you drive, I can recover, but also being able to swipe at the ball and still be in position to be able to guard or drive. So it's definitely a big part of my game.
And if somebody is a little quicker than you could play off of them. If they pull up, you right there and you can contest it or maybe get a deflection.
Exactly.
Yep.
Where are you at in terms of understanding the system at both ends? I mean, obviously, you're about to start installing the real system starting tomorrow, but in terms of coming off of Summer League, taking what you learned there, in terms of being in your mind of what you guys are trying to accomplish at both ends?
So a couple things I've learned. I just learned about like 3-for-1s and 2-for-1s and what time to do all that. But Coach Joe has also told me, about on defense, if we're on defense in that situation, like, do we want to double team? Do we want to hit? Like, what do we want to do? And so I'm trying to pick up little schemes like that, for late end of quarter stuff that's going to, give the team a boost going into whatever halftime or end of quarter, whatever it may be.
I got one piece of advice for you, Rook. Stay in the film room. Stay in the film room. The game will slow down for you.
For sure. Thank you.
And that's veteran advice. Veteran advice
Jordan,
from Eddie House.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Jordan. We're looking forward to it, man. Appreciate it. All right, folks, tonight at 8 p.m., catch a special Media Day edition of Celtics Post Up on NBC Sports Boston. Amina Smith, Brian Scalabrine, our own Eddie House, and Chris Forsberg have the best interviews of the day and preview the upcoming season. It's presented by Eastern Propane and Oil. They're in your neighborhood.
There's the magic man right there.
Hey, Brad.
The magic man.
Good to see you.
The magic man.
What's going on?
I got it.
What do we got here? Live stream.
Oh, yes.
Better not say anything stupid.
Okay.
Can't promise it.
Brad said he better not say anything stupid, but he's not going to promise anything. We're up on camera now.
Yes. Well, Brad Stevens joining us now. And Brad, I had said at the top of the show, it feels like this Celtics team is almost assembling the Avengers. It feels like with just the Drew Holiday trade and getting him here. Walk us through, how did you get that deal done yesterday?
Well, it was a long process. I don't think it was obviously one day. Listen, when you pay the price we paid, right? And the picks are the picks, but specifically Rob and Malcolm and Rob, who we've seen grow up here, and that's a hard thing to do. So to get an idea of what they ultimately want, what's feasible, and then how it, portends to work when you put it all together. You're trying to weigh all that stuff. But I just don't think you can pass up on an opportunity to get a guy like Drew. As I said, just in my media session, I think when you add in what we all know he can do on the court with the kind of person and teammate he is, just a good fit for us.
I got a quick one. Yep. So when he got traded to Portland, is that when you first picked up? Because he wasn't staying in Portland. We all knew he wasn't staying in Portland. Was that when you were like, hey, we got to try to do whatever we can to get him? Is that how that process went?
I've known Joe Cronin for a long time. We've talked several times over the past few years and have had really transparent conversations about, what we think of each other's teams and what we're and know what guys are like. When it became more of a question of where Dame might go, I think you started to think about, okay, who would end up going to Portland that they may not keep as part of their group. And so when you start doing the math on the money around the league, you can limit it to maybe 10 to 15 guys. Mm-hmm. And so we were having those discussions in case something came up. Didn't know how it would all shake out. Have tried to get Drew Holiday on the Celtics since I've been the coach. I know I would go into Danny's office every year and be like, hey, can we get Drew Holiday somehow? And so when that hit, yes, the whole office walks in and says, is there a way to get Drew Holiday here? And so then we just start working on it. And it's hard because there's a lot of good teams, a lot of that have a lot of great assets and great players, and you may get them, you may not.
It's also probably hard that it happened the day before training camp starts, right? I'm just curious, you've been in that coaching seat. How does it shift things at all for Joe when he's maybe planning to have Rob and Malcolm here yesterday, and then it switches going into today?
Well, I think the good news is as you prepare for a season, you prepare for a couple of different ways of playing. You prepare for being a little bit bigger, and you prepare for playing a little bit smaller. And you know that in the course of a game, no matter how you start a game or how you sub, that you're probably going to be smaller or longer, right? And so you're really prepared for both. Mm-hmm. And then Drew is an easy guy to assimilate into a group. He can guard 4 positions. He's tough. He's smart. He's a good passer. He wants to win. This isn't I don't think this is as hard to get a guy to move into a group as some people might be. And he knows, he has familiarity with some staff and, played with Jayson in the Olympics. And so there's a lot of, we're hopeful that it's a smooth transition.
What I liked about the move was it gives us a true point guard for the first time. I mean, I know Marcus played point, and I know Derek played some point, but I feel like they're more scoring point guards. And I don't think Marcus was the traditional type of point guard where he can organize. He did a great job, but I feel like at times, the last 2 years, we had organization problems where late in games, we weren't as organized as we should be. Guys weren't in the right space. And then the other thing on top of that, and I was telling them earlier, I feel that he will be able to not only organize, but get our guys, Jayson and Jaylen, the ball with a live dribble in scoring positions, as opposed to them coming down court, having to fight downhill on a high pick and roll. I think it just opens up everything for us. The spacing on the court is going to be hard for people to guard them, especially when we have the right.
Well,
I hope so.
I think the game has changed so much, right? So when we talk about traditional point guards, teams have played, trying to be bigger all around the board and be able to switch as much as possible defensively, trying to put as many playmakers on the floor as possible. Obviously, everybody's got to be able to shoot so that you can, they have to guard out to the three-point line and now beyond. We've played with Jayson bringing the ball up as much as we've played with Peyton bringing the ball up, right? So it's really who gets us in there probably isn't as big to us as making sure we're all in the right spots, organized and ready to attack with threats, everywhere. Mm-hmm. And we've had a really good team. Like those guys that you just they're really good. But we think also Drew's really good. So hopefully the way that it all fits together, the way it all works, the way they all accentuate each other is good. I do think that everybody talks about, and rightfully so, our two young wings, and Jayson and Jaylen, but when you start looking at what Derek and Drew can do together, both
scary
offensively and defensively.
Yes.
Derek's pick and roll numbers are off the charts. The way he shot the ball last year, the way he shot the ball in the last few weeks since he's been back in Boston, and the way that both he and Drew can really chase screens and lock people down should be fun to watch.
You got anything?
Oh, I was going to go. But just with Drew and that championship DNA, how do you see that also complementing Jaylen and Jayson and just helping them, having been there before?
Yeah, I think that Drew is one of my favorite things about what I've learned about him is he just has amazing, awareness of the room. I don't think there's going to be hey, I've been to the mountaintop. This is the only way. I think he knows he's entering a really good team, and he just wants to help and add and be the best version of himself. He's just a really good person, and so to have, we're lucky. I don't know if we have. I think we have two guys in their 30s now, right, with Al and Drew. So we're still pretty young overall, but our guys have a lot of experience that are younger, and they've been through a lot. And, I can't think of two better guys in their 30s to lead a group.
Brad, you touched on this at the start. You've said this since you took over this role. In order to get something, you always got to give something up. You gave up a couple of really good players, guys that you loved having on this team and in this locker room. But the one in particular I want to ask about is losing Robert Williams.
Yeah.
You guys drafted him. You developed him. He became a great player, all defensive player. Not having him now puts obviously a little bit more pressure on the other two big men that are still here in terms of starters and all-stars in the past, in Horford and Porzingis. How do you guys maneuver here now that you don't have those minutes from Rob in that rotation? What's kind of the next step of how you guys organize that?
Well, we'll see how Joe wants to start, how we're going to play as a team. I don't know how that's all going to look. I think we all have a good idea who our best players are, and so we'll see how it all fits together. But I do think that when you look at Kristaps can play with any of our other bigs, Al can play with any of our other bigs. We will try to make sure that anybody else that we fill into those roles just play with great competitiveness, can pass, have skill, and can do everything they can to accentuate those people around them. We're not looking for the next Hakeem Olajuwon, right? We don't need somebody that's going to score 30 and grab 20. Take him. Don't get me wrong. We'll take him. But
knowing you might trade for him tomorrow.
But I do think we're looking for accentuators.
So I do have this. So you were talking about the bigs and how they could play together. We know Al doesn't play on second nights or back-to-backs or whatever, right? Are you looking to add more depth in the front court at some point?
Yeah, and I will say this. I said this over in the media session. I've been lucky because in the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've had so many guys in the gym. They're doing small group work. They're playing open gym. So I've seen these guys, what they look like as far as how ready they are. And really positions, point guard through center, everybody's improved. And I'm excited about that because I think that, when you're looking to fill out a team around those best players, right, it's about, again, competitiveness, skill, and just doing something small that you do well to add to the mix. So we don't I do think if we add to our front court at all, it'll be focused on just motor right?
A
in
rebounder,
competitiveness.
shot blocker, things like that.
Motor, yeah, and that's all. If you can get a great shot blocker, that's great. A little bit easier said than done.
No doubt.
I mean, that's for sure. We're going to miss Rob in a lot of ways.
But adding Drew, I mean, at the same time, we talk about what that him and Derek can do on the perimeter, and Jayson and Jaylen have both said publicly that they want to be all defensive players this year. What can you guys accomplish on the perimeter from a defensive perspective?
Well, once you lose a little bit of rim protection, you better not let them get there.
Mm-hmm. Simple as that.
We got some guys that can keep people in front of them.
Yep.
And so we're just going to have to be individually accountable and do it.
Can we talk to you about your son? And congratulations. I mean, what an awesome opportunity. Brady Stevens is going to Notre Dame to play for Micah Shrewsbury.
Congratulations.
Yes, unbelievable.
Yeah, he's gonna walk on. It's an unbelievable school. It's where in the state that he's from, and he's super excited. And it's probably not for me to talk about. It's his life and what he wants. But I think we all just want to see our kids happy and pushed and challenged and grow. And he thought about it and decided that's what he wanted to do. We're happy for him.
How proud are you of him?
Well, we're proud of them both. Yeah, but I just want him to be happy. That's all I really care about.
Something tells me Micah's going to have him happy out there in Notre Dame.
I hope Micah chews his ass out and sends me the video.
Well, Brad, thank you so much for your time. It's great to see you.
But I do want him happy.
He'll be happy.
Yeah, no.
He'll be happy. All right, Brad. Thank you.
Good.
All right, guys.
Interested in becoming a Celtics season ticket member? Take the first step by joining the wait list. You'll get priority access to ticket plans when they become available. Visit Celtics.com/waitlist to learn more.
All right, we got one of our newest members of the team, Svi Mihailuk. He's on the set, and he's wearing what number, Eddie?
50, that big 50 over there.
Did you get approval from Eddie House to wear that number?
No, he didn't. He don't have to. He's a Celtic. He's a Celtic. He's just gonna have to represent with it, though. I'll do my best.
I'll say this: this is two men who could stroke it from downtown. So that passes on. That passes on. Hey, Svi, welcome to town, obviously, first and foremost. But what made you choose the Boston Celtics?
I feel it's pretty obvious. One of the best teams in the NBA. Have a really, really high expectation every year, and for me personally, all I want to do is win. And I feel like here we got a great group of guys. Coaches and just the whole organization. It's a big chance for us to do something special, and I just want to be a part of something special.
When Brad was calling you and talking to you and your agent about coming here, what was the discussion about what he wants to see out of you and how you can? He was just on set, obviously, and he said he wants the role players to accentuate the best players on the team. How do you accentuate those guys from what he talked to you about?
I feel like for me, what I bring to the team is shooting, obviously, and just help those guys create more space for them to do what they do, and whenever I get a chance to shoot the ball whenever I'm open, just shoot and make the right play every time.
Playmaker too. Yeah, over those last couple of weeks of last season, you averaged about 20 points a game while shooting about 40% from the field and dishing out 5 assists per game. So this man can make plays for others, too.
Yeah, he was balling.
He was balling.
So coming in here, when you did pick the Celtics and you start, how do you vision yourself, like, helping the team? I know you said shooting, but there's other ways to affect the game. How do you see yourself fitting in with this core group?
Obviously, know my role and come in, play hard in defense, trying to make right play on defense and offense, and just be a good support to all the guys there on the court, and just trying to do my best to fit in.
You've played for a lot of different NBA teams and having to adjust and learn the players. How do you think that can better serve you now coming in and kind of trying to hit the ground running?
I feel like the longer you be in the NBA, the faster you learn, and I feel like you know everybody because you play against everybody. And as me, change a lot of teams, I feel like I know how it works now, and it wasn't really hard for me just to get to know everybody because I knew most of the guys before, and it just like made it easier for me. All the guys been great to me, all the coaches, all the trainers. So it's been a great experience so far.
You got some history with one of the guys on the team, right? You were teammates with Al Horford in Oklahoma City. What was that like? What do you remember about being a teammate with Al out there? Obviously, he wasn't playing much that season. He was kind of getting ready for his return here. But what do you remember about being teammates with him?
Great guy, super chill, super professional. Been in the league for a long time.
Media day number 17 for him.
Know how to win games. Great player. So he's been pleasure to get to know him there, and especially get to hear and have time with him here.
Did you take anything from being around him during that time that you kind of applied to the way that you were working, kind of in all the work that you put in that the people don't see out there?
Just being professional.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. He was every day working as not as he's like year 15, but he was preparing for every game. Like he gonna play like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So I feel like it just was good experience just to watch him how professional he is on the court and off the court.
How has it been interacting with Joe Mazzulla?
It's been great. Just get to know him. That's his second year as a coach, so it's been great to see him get on this level and succeed.
From shooter to shooter, I ask everybody this. What's your spot on the court?
I love that question.
I like elbows.
See, let me drop the microphone and walk out. Every shooter I ask, ask me that question.
What spot on the court you like?
When I walk in the gym.
Okay.
Wherever I catch it at.
I remember that.
Wherever I catch it at, I'm a shooter.
I'll start doing that.
You're going to go walk back and tell Jayson and Jaylen that, right? Yeah. I love it. Eddie,
yeah.
What was your real spot on the court?
I just told you. I'm dead serious. I just told you. It didn't matter. But most of the time I ended up in the corner, so I took a lot of corner threes because just the way the offense flowed and rolled. So I ended up in the corner a lot, swings, and knock it down. But it don't matter anywhere. Studying in the gym, I let that thing go.
Yeah. Studying film and seeing how this team plays, where do you expect to get the majority of your shots working off of that?
That's what he said.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Same thing, right?
Everywhere.
You got to take that with you now.
Everywhere, yeah.
One thing I do want to ask is there's 6 guys on this roster, or there's a lot of international flair. You're one of the 6 guys on this roster who were not born and raised in America. How do you think that can actually contribute to a locker room and help?
I feel like it gives a little different perspective and view. And like me, KP, grew up in Europe, played in Europe for a little bit, and I feel like we grew up playing a little different type of basketball. But then, he continued playing Europe. I went to college, so it just brings a little diversity of the thinking of the game. I would say that.
Well, we can't look forward to seeing you on the court with the Celtics anymore. We appreciate you coming in, man.
Appreciate it.
Good luck. Rep that number 50.
Yes.
I know he's going to be watching you. Hey, anytime you walk into the court, that's your spot.
Gotcha.
All right, Speed. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate the time. Good luck.
Check out the latest Celtics Talk podcast. Chris Forsberg has much more from Celtics Media Day. You can scan the QR code on the screen or find it on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube. It's presented by 24autogroup.com, 11 locations across New England.
You got that fresh cut?
What are we doing? Yeah, I got like one a month. Man,
Definitely got to get it. Definitely got to get it for Media Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's up? How you doing? How was your summer?
coming around.
We are live with head coach
You're getting the full view
Joe
of Media
Mazzulla.
Day. We're just catching up. Joe Mazzulla joining us
I
now.
need one of those sweatsuits.
You'd be a lot more comfortable in
Not
a suit,
reveal
right?
where I got it from.
Yeah, I need one of
I got
those.
an idea where you got that from.
And you got that from Andy, and I need Andy to give me a box.
Andy, you need the hookup. You need the hookup.
That's a public call out, Andy.
That's my guy. I love him. He takes care of me.
Joe, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's just start with the biggest news. Jrue Holiday joining the Boston Celtics. How does he help elevate this team?
Just adds more character to what we already have and adds mindset. Just a level of toughness, a level of physicality. The reputation he brings on the defensive end of the floor is key. But we've had a lot of battles against him in years past, and he's made a lot of timely baskets. He's made a lot of plays on the offensive end. So it's our job to fit him in, and it's his job to bring that character and mindset. And I think it'll be a great piece.
Hey, is this the norm for you, where like the couple days before camp starts, it's just everything changes? I mean, you're getting used to it.
I'm used to it, for sure. Yeah.
But in reality, how does it change what you're going to try to get the guys to do on the court when you add a guy like Jrue Holiday and you lose a couple guys like Brogdon and Rob Williams? Obviously, Rob was kind of the anchor behind in the back line of the defense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like we talk about our defensive identity, we talk about our losses to our roster and our additions, but at the end of the day, every year you have to reinvent that identity. You have to recreate that identity. And so with the roster that we have, defense has always been in the DNA here for the Celtics. We've been top 5, top 3 almost every year since I've been here, and even before my time. And so it's just recreating, rebranding what that looks like. You can be good on defense in many different ways, and it's a matter of how can we be good defensively with our roster, how can we be flexible, how can we be a little bit adaptable to where we can go to some different packages, some different layers of adjustments, some different layers there. And that'll just come from time, but it will come from really the mindset of our team.
What are the answers to those questions, at least that you envision going in? Because we all know once you hit the court, you're going to see how things work, and you're probably going to tweak things. But how do you envision those answers coming out as you go into camp?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing it starts with is like individual defense. Regardless of who's on your roster, regardless of anything, you can take pride in your individual defense. It's something we were great at 2 years ago. It's something that we weren't as good at last year. Something we want to get back to this year is like each individual guy taking a pride to guard the ball. And I think it starts there. And then after that, once each individual guy has that ownership and that accountability towards guarding their own man, you can do pretty much anything. But we have the ability to play small. We have the ability to play big. Kristaps will give us some rim protection. He's a little bit of a better defender than people think he is.
Very underrated.
And I think that'll take some pressure off of Al, right? And so I think it's just a matter of starting with that individual piece. I was joking on the press conference, like there were times last year where I didn't do a great job.
You were joking with the media?
I never do that.
I know, right?
I won't do it this year, I promise.
No, come on, you have to.
That's dry humor. That's dry humor.
But I think one of the things that I learned as a coach was like you are what you emphasize. And like for me personally, I was messing around. Like no one had to emphasize defense to me because I was so bad on offense. And so I just assume that people play defense, but I'm coaching a bunch of guys that are way better at offense than I am, so I just got to remind them from time to time. And so defense has always been in my DNA. It's been in ours. It's just about getting back to emphasizing. It's just about making it the most important thing, and I think our guys are ready to take that on.
And you talked about it, the defense. To me, that was the one thing that stood out with the trade for Jrue Holiday is the fact that now is you have so much defensive versatility, so many guys that can guard their own yard. Now, is on the perimeter, you got Jaylen and Jayson. They all express that they both express they want to be all NBA defense, right? We already know that Derek White is on that level, and we know Jrue Holiday is. You guys have all that mixed up there. But I think the one thing that I really was excited about, and I dropped the F-bomb on the plane when I seen the trade.
I drop those all the time.
Hey, on the bottom line, did you do a backflip after you got the trade? You had to be super excited.
I didn't, but I just my way of excitement is like I get angry and like anxious and like.
So did you go to the gym and slam somebody?
I did like a couple hundred push-ups. I got a workout in, but it's like we should be practicing right now.
I'm glad
should not be waiting until Tuesday.
I'm glad you weren't playing pickup ball.
Check ball right now.
But I'd like the fact that I feel like the first time, and this is no slight to nobody that had played here before, I just feel like the first time we have an organizer at the point guard position with Jrue Holiday. When things get a little murky, the waters get muddy a little bit, and guys start mucking the game up, he's been in every situation, and he could calm the guys down, get guys organized, and also get Jayson and Jaylen the ball in scoring position with a live dribble. To me, that was one of the things I got really excited about when I seen it. And when I heard he went to Portland, I know he wasn't staying there, and I was like, we got to get him somehow, and if we do, I think that changes the landscape of the NBA as well. And so I know you have to be extremely excited about not only the defensive versatility that you guys are going to be able to bring to the table, but also the offensive versatility that everybody has.
And that point guard role is with Derek as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think, Derek is one of those guys where he's always under the radar because of just how he carries himself. And like from the day we traded for him, he's gotten better and better on both ends of the floor. And, it's hard coming into our defensive system because we switch more, because you're in much more guard your yard situations. And he came from San Antonio where they didn't switch as much initially. But his development over the last year and a half has really been big for us. And so, he'll be doing some of the point guard duties as well. And it's important that like the addition of one player doesn't take away from another player. Like, that can't happen. Like we have to get the best out of everybody, but at the same time, everyone's going to have to be willing to sacrifice. But the one area that no one's talking about is I'm really excited about is our second unit, our third unit, like the guys like Peyton and Sam and Brissett and Luke and Jordan Walsh. Like those guys, like last year, our second and third unit won us games. And they have to be able to bring that mindset and that intensity and that level of basketball. And, those guys start with Peyton. Like, I'm excited for him. I think this opportunity is going to be big for him. And we're going to rely on his mentality, his mindset to bring that same defensive and that toughness.
Yeah, he's a dog on the defense. He'll pick up 94 feet. He's not scared of any moment. One of my favorite players all the time. I tell him that all the time. But about Jordan Walsh, right? You spoke on Jordan Walsh. Talk a little bit about what you're excited about with him and coaching him and helping him develop. He showed great flashes and good signs of being a really good player. What is he going to bring to this team, and what are you excited about coaching?
I'm more excited about getting him into an organization, getting him into where there's direction, there's an identity, and it's like there's no rush here. Like you have time to become this. And you're not being judged by how you handle preseason game number 3 or how you handle the minutes that you get, or you're not being judged by when you get assigned to the G League or not. Like you're being judged by how you approach it every single day, how you get better, and can you get better at certain things? Can you fill a role? You know how it is. Like when guys come into the NBA, they're used to doing one thing in college, but they're asked to do something completely different.
You have to change, or you'll be out the league.
So you have to change. And so can you just work? Can you be open-minded to developing the role that is needed for you to help us whenever that situation comes?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, heading into your second season now, does it feel different for you at all, or are you treating this year kind of as your year one?
Definitely like treating it as a year one. I think last year was a cheat code in some ways because we were able to go through it. We were able to be somewhat successful, and we were able to collect a lot of data. And then we were able to use this offseason to really just go back and say, okay, like what worked, what didn't, where can we get better, what has to stay the same? Because it's very easy when you don't achieve the main goal of winning a championship to say you have to change everything. But we did a lot of really good things on both ends of the floor and as an organization. And so we can't come in and have overhaul changes. We have to stick to those things. And then we just got to be open-minded and flexible to the things that we can grow at and get better to put us in position.
We can't let you get out of here without talking about Kristaps Porzingis. It's a 7'3" addition.
Yeah.
We gave our take at the top of the show.
What was it? I'd love to hear it.
Well, I said that I think it's going to really affect you guys in crunch time. It's
Positively or negatively?
Positively, my friend. Positive.
We positive on this show. Glass half full.
On this show.
Glass is half full.
But no, I think that he's going to give you guys an element that you just did not have offensively when you're looking to try to put the ball through the basket in crunch time of big games. How do you see him impacting what you guys are trying to accomplish?
So when you look at offenses, and really when you look at the game in the fourth quarter and you look at the game in the playoffs, it's essentially the same thing. And we've had great players, we've had great stuff here, but we haven't had the ability to change the dynamic of offense late in games with this, whether it's with post-ups, whether it's with nail isos on mismatches. And so the addition of him allows, one, the matchups to be a little bit differently late game, and two, allows us to change our play call frequency to get those hard twos, to get to the free throw line, to get Jayson and Jaylen open catch and shoot threes because Kristaps is posting a smaller guy. And so it really just comes down to, can we organize our spacing, can we fight for space, and really get those free throw line opportunities, get those hard twos. And I think that'll change the dynamic of our late game offensive package. But at the same time, he's going to have to help change our defensive identity there. And our first shot defense in the fourth quarter in late games is really good. Our defensive rebounding has not been. And so we have to finish possessions with defensive rebounding.
From serious to not serious, right? Are we going to toss to something here?
Yes, yeah. I know that you had a busy off season. That includes taking in Marcus Smart's wedding. Whose idea
I mean, you knew
was
this was going to come
I got
up.
something for him. I got something for him. though. I was told specifically that let's take a funny. We took a serious one before, and then he's like, let's be funny. It
This
won't
isn't
get
the
out.
serious one?
That's not.
No,
the
that was be funny and it won't get out.
It was.
You fell for the banana in the tailpipe. That's what happened.
Wait, Jason said it won't get out?
I'm not going to tell you who said that. All I'm going to say is I was told to be funny and it won't get out.
The banana in the
And it got
tailpipe.
out.
You
what
already know
happens,
that's what they're
right?
gonna do.
I thought you looked great. But I got to say, I think Brad won the picture.
Of course, he always does.
Brad won the picture. All right, Joe. We appreciate you coming by. Good luck
All right.
this season.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
to
Can't wait
see you
to see you
again.
guys tomorrow.
Let's see it.
All right. Now there's a new way to stay in the game. Sign up to receive text messages from the Boston Celtics and be the first to know about new offers, content, sweepstakes, and more. Visit Celtics.com/text to opt in. And we're live. How about that? We got Ashley Battle hanging out on set.
How was the off season for you?
Off season was great. What's up, P? What up? Let me let you go do your thing.
Yes, we are.
You sure? We got enough
Ashley
seat here.
stealing
What up?
stealing
That's
the
my guy.
spotlight.
Oh shit! I'm about to tear the table
We got
up.
Eddie breaking the table.
WWE style.
Video
I mean, I got
bombing.
excited.
What's
My
going
boy
on?
is in the building, man.
We are
My boy's
live.
in.
Peyton,
The
great to
chaos of
see you.
media
I
day.
first off have to say congratulations on your engagement.
thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, congratulations.
That's
Amazing. Congrats.
Appreciate it.
Pictures
Even
were
though, hey,
awesome.
look, I said congratulations on the bye. He didn't even like my comment or nothing.
on.
They just played me to the left like one of the other million people that follow him.
That's on me.
Peyton, we're going into the season. We just had some chaos yesterday, right? Another big trade. And I cannot wait to see the trio of you, Drew, and Derek rotating at that guard spot. How do you think you guys are going to complement each other out there this season?
I think we'd be, really good. But I think all of us have, different things. I'm a little bit more like pesty. They're bigger, so I think we bring a different element. All three of us, which, obviously they're tremendous players, and I think we can, it just helps to add different flavors to it.
And last season, obviously, it came out. You wanted to play, right? And if it wasn't going to be here, you wanted to be somewhere else. Well, Brad would not let you go. It's like he does not want you to be on another team. He cleared open a spot for you to get playing time. How do you interpret that and his belief in you?
It means a lot, but for me, I just handle what I can handle, and that's showing up every day, putting in my work, and being ready for those opportunities when they come. So, like I said all along, I love basketball, and the only thing I want to do is hoop and compete. And so that was the whole thing the whole time. So for me, I'm just looking forward to the opportunity going out there and, trying to win games and trying to do something special and bring it every time I step on that court.
How did your summer go? Like, how'd your summer go? I see, then you have 80 something. Then you had 81.
60
what was
something
it?
this time,
What you end
right?
up with in that? Where's that summer league? Is that in Portland or?
That one was in Vancouver, Canada. It was like a thing we popped in for. But no, it was good though. I mean, I put in a lot of work this summer. So.
What specifically were you working on? What areas of the game did you work on? And what did you study a lot?
We got some footage. Proof.
I mean, honestly, with who we have on our team, me being very dynamic off ball too, being able to, run off screens and stuff like that. I mean, obviously I can, handle the rock and do things like that, but I think to elevate my game is expanding it off ball and like in those areas. And I'm not comparing myself to nobody, but you see how Steph and those guys, how they get shots, they create shots with not even having the ball in their hands. So for me, I'm able to catch and shoot. So that's a big area I improved on, but really like I got stronger and faster. So, I'm going to be pushing in transition and stuff like that. And so I'm just ready to show all that.
And defensively, you were talking about y'all's the way you guys different flavors, right? You guys bring something different. Your 94 feet pickup.
For sure.
Is that something that you're going to engage every single game?
I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's just something I do just to get warm. When you check it. I continue it, but like when you check in the game, you get pick up 94, you get warm real quick. So, but for me, I think that's just a way I can put my imprint on the game, and being a pass out there and picking people up and and, tiring out the other guard and stuff like that. So
you were in Vancouver. You played with Isaiah Thomas, correct? I think we got a photo of you guys hanging out. But how was that playing with IT and maybe what?
It was amazing. I mean, obviously me being from the Pacific Northwest and he's a legend out there. He's a legend here. Like the things he was able to accomplish are unbelievable. So, somebody definitely I admire and I look up to his game and it's just amazing what he did. So
and he shows so much love. He showed love all the time. IT is one of the best
Boston
dudes. Showed nothing but love to all the
unbelievable dude. Yeah, for sure.
I got to follow up on, you mentioned Steph earlier. When you're talking about playing off the ball, who else are you studying on a daily basis? Because I know you're a student of the game.
I mean, really, I study everybody. I mean, I think you could take something from everybody, and it doesn't matter if it's even your position. It's just like there's bigs in the league, there's wings in the league, there's certain things they do. You can always add to your game. So for me, I try to take that growth mindset as far as there's always things I can get better at, and that just keeps elevating my game to another level each year. So,
what was your reaction yesterday when you heard the news? The day before training camp starts, by the way.
I mean, it's like anytime you get teammates to get traded, that's, obviously it's tough and, you build bonds and relationships with guys and, you've been through it. It's not easy, but it's part of the business and, obviously we got Drew, who's an unbelievable player and somebody's going to really help us win at a high level. So, but I'm also looking forward to that too and learning from him and, everything he's accomplished and just I get to study from him a little bit.
He's a champion.
For sure.
Right? He's got that DNA.
You said that you've been able to be working out with the guys and pretty much everyone's been here early. What have you seen just from the sense of urgency from this Celtics team getting in and getting into the gym?
I think everybody's just locked in earlier this year. People are coming in, we're like bonding with each other, learning how to play together, stuff like that. But I don't know if I'd say it's a sense of urgency. It's just people are ready for the moment and ready for this opportunity to come.
So was it last year, with everything that was going on, the Ime situation and Joe being thrusted into the head coach and so much chaos right before media day, right? So it's two big bombs, right? But last year it was that. And this year it's something that's very positive for the team. When you found out that he was getting traded and everybody, did you guys call each other? Did you guys get on the group chat like, oh, it's going down? And also, is it a different energy that you guys have coming into this camp than it was last year?
I think it's definitely a different energy. I mean, we're coming off of like a championship run the year before, going to the championship. So we already had that in our heads. We were going to go back, and then obviously, new coach. Like there was a lot of things going on, and so players' heads is all different places. And we, I don't know, it's just a lot. But this year, I just think guys are more locked in, ready just to get ready to play games. Like we're only focused on the basketball side of things. We don't have the distractions outside of just ball. So I think that's important to us, and we can just all lock in now.
Right on.
Well, Peyton, thank you so much for your time. Great to see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Start of training camp.
The Celtics play their first preseason game on Sunday when they host the 76ers. Our coverage starts at 5:30 p.m. with Celtics pregame live. It's presented by TD Bank.
I just enjoy playing, and I enjoy trying to win, and I enjoy playing with guys, especially the guys on this team. And whether I'm playing 5 minutes or 20 minutes or 0 minutes, I don't really care as long as we are moving and trying to all push in the same direction.
Cornet reverse. Oh, good block by Cornet. Timed it up perfectly. Oh, Cornet! That's right.
I truly don't care anymore about the personal side of things, and I take so much more joy in us all working towards it together. I feel throughout college and early on in my career, I was so hyper focused. Whereas I feel the last 2 years I've actually come to having a lot more peace of knowing what those routines and habits are. You just kind of know the routine and you know the work that it takes. In a weird way, letting go of knowing I can just control what I can control of my preparation, be ready to be able to play whatever the role is kind of asked for. really do like care about and like love every person on our team and in our organization. And that they are like unique and have different gifts to bring. It is actually fun to like come in and get to like work with them and spend time with them. Like I just care a lot about like everyone here, I think, like for who they are. That's completely not tied to like what they are as basketball players or coaches or anything like that. The performance is already so like weighted and criticized and all that kind of stuff already. I kind of hope everyone can know that like I really just care about us all going and like playing together and trying to figure out whatever the best version of like our team can be as we are. Like it doesn't really matter about like where other teams are or what other people want of us. It's like all that matters is kind of where we're at and like what we can do to just be a little bit better together. Actually funny, I remember when I was first in New York, Boston was a place that like felt like significant to me and a place I like always thought would be awesome to play at. And then when we were in New York and Boston was like really good and playing against them, and I was just like, man, I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to be at a place where I'd be able to like really just contribute on a team that's like this, that's like really trying to win and contend for a championship. And then it's funny where now like I am asked to play and contribute on a team that like we are hoping to win a championship. It seems like, quite frankly, like unbelievable.
Good defense by Kornet. Got the block.
I'll throw it up. Big fella. Yes.
Little mixtape by Luke Kornet.
Extra value is what you get when you find Luke Kornet.
Just taking responsibility for like where you are and accepting that and like controlling what you can and committing to that. Then when you are moved in the opportunity, you can actually like take it for what it is instead of like still thinking, oh, I need something else to be peaceful or to be like happy or like whatever those types of things are. I'm really appreciative to be able to be here in Boston, and it does feel like you're a part of something like just bigger than yourself.
Well, we have Sam Hauser joining us now. Sam, a busy off season for you. Congratulations on getting married. It looked like
Congratulations.
it was a lot of fun.
That, yeah. We just went from one guy who got engaged to one guy who got married.
You're going to have to give
that?
Peyton some pointers then.
He's been asking. I've been giving
okay.
little helpful tricks and trade. Just say yes. Really.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do, right?
That's it. So, it was a great summer. We had a great time. The wedding went well, and the honeymoon was even better. So,
yeah,
it was great.
Well, it looked like a lot of the guys had fun dancing at the wedding. We got some stuff from Luke Kornet. We got to ask him about his dance moves, but he's pretty skilled on the dance floor, right?
He may or may not have done a cornet contest on the dance floor.
No, he didn't.
Sweaty
Just
Luke Kornet.
completely drenched.
Hey man, we're having a good time. I'm glad they let loose a little
Look,
bit.
you guys got headbands on. Look at that.
Can you please tell me, because I will never know this, what is it like having Luke Kornet at your wedding?
It was great. Yeah, he was a lot of fun, good energy. He seemed to have some gravity about him, and just people just flocked to him. So it was pretty fun.
That sounds like Luke Kornet. That sounds like Luke Kornet.
So it was great.
Hey, listen, Bus One's going to look a little different this year, huh?
Yeah.
That was a sad face that just dropped upon you in the moment, but
we may have lost the captain, So, but we're gonna, me, Peyton, Luke, we'll carry it on. It won't get lost. So,
how do you adjust? Who else do you think's going to be in the crew this year?
Time will tell. We'll see. There's no open invitation. You kind of have to earn it. You got to be consistent.
There's an initiative.
It's a fraternity, right? It's like a fraternity. Yeah,
exactly. So we'll see. Time will tell.
Is Luke going to come up with a new Bus One Boys song, or do you think that's?
If he can come up with a sequel to that song, it'd be impressive. But I don't know if he can.
We wanted to send it out publicly, but we couldn't because there's copyright concerns.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah,
we can get a hold of that band and just say.
Maybe. That's got to come out of your guys' paycheck, not mine.
Let's get to some basketball. How excited are you about, especially after the news yesterday? It's always tough when teammates get traded. 3 teammates got traded, guys that have been here for a long time. So that's the tough part of the business. But getting a guy like Jrue Holiday, how excited were you when you found that news out, and how excited are you about this upcoming season?
Yes, to your point, it's the toughest part of the business is losing. You build friendships and relationships with these guys. So thanks to Marcus, Grant, Rob, and Malcolm for all they did for us for the last couple of years, so that I've been here at least. But it's exciting to get Drew here. Championship DNA. He got a ring with Milwaukee. He's tenacious on defense. And I think he's really going to fit well with what we do offensively too. So we're really excited to have him. And yeah.
Why do you think he's going to fit well with what you guys do offensively?
I think he played really well with the Bucks. Maybe not as like the second option, but as like the third option with Middleton and Giannis. And I think he provided a calming presence out there with them. And I think he's going to bring that to us, making winning plays, making tough buckets when we need them, getting stops on defense. That's kind of what he's known for. So he's one of the best in the league at that. So I think it's going to be a seamless transition.
We talk about Drew there. We're going to talk about Sam now. All right. We've seen your growth and ascension since you got here, obviously starting with the G League team, coming up here, and then last year, I think you played in about 80 games last year, right? So it's quite the growth process that you've gone through. But what's the next step in your development that we need to see this year, or we will see this year?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just getting better all around as a player. I think there's room for improvement in a lot of areas, and that's like any player. I feel like you can never not be getting better at basketball. I think there's so many aspects to it that you can get better at. So, I worked really hard this offseason to get better, and I'm excited to show it here coming up in a week.
Specifically, what were you working on to get better?
Yeah, I mean, building off of defense, I do need to get better in isolation situations. I think I did show.
Come on.
I showed growth last year. The first half of the year, it was
led the
work in
league
progress,
in defensive rating, my friend.
Well, so what do you think that your issue was? Was it where you were working on? How do you get better in that in your one-on-one defense? Besides watching film and preparation, what did you do to work on that?
Yeah, so I had a tendency to kind of I had happy feet almost. So I think just quieting my feet down, especially when guys are getting into multiple moves and changing directions. So quieting my feet down, giving myself a better chance to stay in front. And then offensively, really just being more aggressive and taking shots that maybe I would have passed up last year. I think that's a big thing in expanding my game as well. Obviously a three-pointer is kind of where it starts, but I'm able to do other things as well. Playing in a DHO or a ball screen situation, getting downhill, making the right play, either it's a pass or a finish or something like that. So I think just expanding my game a little bit.
We just had Peyton on, and he said kind of the guys, he feels that they're locked in. You guys are ready to work. I know you guys have been here early getting ready. What have you seen from the group?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, he was happy to see all of us in the gym a couple weeks before training camp, which is, I don't know if it's a common thing around the NBA, it might be, but the competitiveness level when everybody was back has been at a different level in my time in Boston. So it's been pretty special to have everyone around and building chemistry early, and I think everyone's just ready to get going.
Anyone in particular that's kind of set that tone of competitiveness?
Honestly, I think it started from the jump. There was young guys in early August. Me and Peyton came in mid-August, and then guys have been trickling in every week. So I think everyone who's been there has maintained it and even raised the level. And I think when Jayson and Jaylen got back, those guys are able to bring up the level of intensity and competitiveness just by them being there. So I think that's good for everyone.
How are you seeing them already kind of lay that foundation?
Just their daily work habits. They show up, they're professional, they get their work in. They test others. They try to get others out of their comfort zone, I guess, which is good for a player, and that only gets you better. So iron sharpen iron.
We all know that Joe, from the offensive side, he really emphasizes the three-point line, and all Brad did this offseason was add a ton more three-point shooting to what was already here. You guys, I mean, it's across the board, really. Almost every player that's going to be in the rotation can really shoot it from downtown. What do you expect the post-practice competitions are going to be like this season?
Yeah, it's probably going to be very competitive. Some shooting drills, it sounds like. But no, I think it was great. We obviously added some pieces that are definitely going to help what we were trying to do, and time will tell throughout the season, but I think it's going to be a really, really fun season.
But for you in particular, I did want to ask, like, there's competition there for you to get those minutes. You've been in that situation before. You earned them last season. You've got Svi that coming in this year, a lot of similar skill set to you. Like, why do you embrace that coming to you, that you've got to battle and earn this?
I mean, it's just kind of like been my whole life. Real blue collar family. Parents worked really hard to get to where they're at now, and just seeing that as a young kid, and now it's my profession. They did that in their profession. Now it's my turn to put the work in and really earn everything you can get. So because nothing's given in this league for sure. So I think every day is a constant battle.
So who would you say is the best shooter on the team? Because we got a lot of guys that can stroke that thing.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, me.
That wasn't the question though. You're a great shooter. Where's your spot?
Anywhere on the court.
Yes.
That's my guy. That's what I'm talking about.
I learned from last year.
Svi failed that question about a half hour ago. So.
Well, now he knows. Now he knows.
Yes. But speaking of anywhere on the court, when you walk in the gym, last couple games last season, you came out and you played at a really high level. I mean, what was the rhythm that you were in at that time? And you talked about doing things other than just shooting. You showed it during those couple games.
Yeah, I mean, some guys weren't playing, which provided opportunities for guys like me and Peyton and Luke to play more minutes and kind of take on a little bit of that load. So I think it was, that provides a little bit of confidence to do more of what you know what to do. So I think that played into it, and just really just enjoying the game and being present, being where my feet were, and just having fun out there. I think that plays a big part of it too.
Last one before we let you go. I know you worked on your game this off season. What about your golf game? How much golf did you get in?
I played a lot before the wedding, and then ever since the wedding happened, it's maybe I think I played 2 or 3 times. So
well, you had your priorities straight then, right?
But leading up to the wedding, it was on a good trajectory, I will say.
How many times a week were you playing?
Probably 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of golf.
It was good.
What was your best score?
This year, I think I shot my best score this year was like 75. So
nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's about 25 strokes better than me.
Well, Sam, thank you so much.
Thanks
we
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Good luck.
Take your game night experience to the next level. Book a Celtics suite for the best views, service, and amenities. Visit Celtics.com/suites to learn more. All right, we have Al Horford joining us now. And Al, a lot's happened this offseason for the Celtics, and especially in the last 24 hours acquiring Drew Holiday. How has the team responded to that? Maybe how did you respond when you saw the news?
Shocked, with it, very surprised, still trying to, wrap my head around it. And, but now, it's here. We start tomorrow, and trying to have that mindset of thinking about tomorrow and getting practice started.
When that was happening, though, are you guys texting each other, in real time, reacting to it, or were you reaching out to guys on the team?
Yeah, I reached out to a couple of the guys, and just surprised about it, and. It's one of those things that you think you have everything kind of put together, and then this happens. But at the same time, we're excited to have Drew here. Drew's a very special player, and looking forward to developing chemistry with him.
And touching on that, I mean, how important from your perspective is it that this got done yesterday and not a couple days into camp? You guys are able to start camp as a group.
Yeah, it's very important. It's tough in the position that some of the guys are in. Like, I feel like I was talking to somebody and I was like, man, like I wish, like there's like a trade deadline in the middle of the season. Like there should be something like that here for a lot of the guys, just because a lot of the guys have families, they have kids, they have to get situated, things like that. Now they're up in the air scrambling, and it's a hard reality, but it's something the NBA is going to have to look at some point, just to help the players be in the best position that they can. But for us, I'm glad at least it happened, now, and tomorrow we can come in and we can start, fresh, start out right, and start building this thing back up.
The toughest part of this business is the trades and relationships and the bonds you build with your brothers that you've been in the trenches with, that you broke bread with on the road. You know their families. You might go to their weddings and things like that. But once that gets out the way, right, like you said, tomorrow it starts. And the unit that you guys have right now, the team that you guys have assembled right now, how excited are you about y'all's defensive versatility, y'all offensive versatility, you guys' depth? How excited are you about going into this season compared to last season of, okay, you got a brand new coach now, your coach been here a year, now you have everything. It seems like the gumbo pot is coming together.
I think you hit it, man. I think that it is coming together for us. Everything's in the right place. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the potential of this group. Already all September, most of us have been in here every day, putting in the work, pushing each other, trying to be better. So I feel like with Coach, second year with us, being more comfortable and everything, and with us, we have some stability in that regard. So I feel pretty good of where we're at and what we can be as a group.
I would presume that throughout the month of September, one of the players you've been watching in the gym is Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously, you're both bigs. I'm sure you spent some time around each other. What's your takeaway from being around him a little bit, and how do you think you guys are going to be able to play off each other?
It's been great. Kristaps, we've gotten a few good weeks in working together, but he, great attitude, great work ethic, knows how to play the game, and it's just impressive watching him, honestly, just watching him. I know I've played against him for a lot of years, but seeing him, finish at the rim, shooting it the way that he shoots it. He's shooting it. I feel like he's shooting it down.
He's so big.
Like it's like he's so tall, and like he's really 7'3". Like there's no, maybe a little taller than that. Like don't tell him I said that, but man, he's somebody that Celtics fans should be very excited about, because I don't think people understand how good of a player he is.
Joe touched on it when he was on set about how Kristaps's presence is going to really help you guys in crunch time, particularly in the postseason, where you've just got that added element that you didn't necessarily have of the big who can roll. He can shoot threes. He can post up. He shot 61% on post-ups last season, second in the league. How do you see him being able to affect what you guys are doing in crunch time of big games?
Yeah, I just think he's going to impact winning for us, and I think he understands that. He's in the point in his career that I feel like he's embracing this opportunity, and he's ready for it. So I'm just really excited for our group, and for us, the work starts now. Eddie knows it's like building this chemistry. The day-to-day aspect of it. That's what we're focused in right now, and the results will come later. But I'm just excited for us to get in the gym together.
Let me ask you, how do you feel? You're going into 17, right? Well, you were a rookie when we played you in 08 in the playoffs, when you guys were giving us fits, but now you're in 17. How are you feeling all the way around? Your body, your mind, everything from, just say 5 years ago, your mindset from 5 years ago, your body to right now. How are you feeling?
Man, I feel
you look great, by the way.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I feel
the man doesn't age.
I feel great. I've really put in, the work. I understand that I have to, push myself even more to be in the positions that I want to be in. But our staff, our group has been great with me, making sure that that I'm in the best place that I can be. And all summer, we were putting in the work, getting after it. So I feel really good. I know what the season embarks. I know what it takes, and I'm ready for it.
And besides winning the championship, I know that's like the most motivating thing, right? That's the thing, the fire that's underneath you. But those days, you know what I'm talking about? It's 17 now. You know, I played 11, so you have those days where it's mundane, it's a little bit monotonous. How do you motivate
sounds like
yourself?
February and
what
March.
kind of games do you play? Because you have to do it when you get to a certain spot in your career because you've seen it all. What kind of games do you play with yourself to motivate yourself, the inner motivation?
Yeah, no question about it. For me, I look around and I'm looking at the guys next to me. You know, I'm looking at the guys next to me, and I'm like, you know, I got to make sure that I'm the best that I can, you know, for my teammates. What do I need to do? And just really, for me, I really seized this opportunity. You know, being a Celtic, being here, having this opportunity. Like those are the things that kind of motivate me and drive me. And looking at it, you know, there's not a lot of us that are 15 plus, you know, in this league. You know what I mean? So that's motivation for me, and it's something I'm trying to set an example. I'm trying to, you know, do that. So like those are the things that kind of drive me and keep me going to be the best that I can.
With setting an example, Jordan Walsh said that you have taken him under your wing and just been helping him, offering him advice. What have you been kind of saying to him and describe that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan he's a great guy. You know, so with him, you know, I'm just trying to help him in any way that I can to make that transition easier for him. He's coming into a contending team, and for him, and I told him from the beginning, it's like you just want to have an impact any way that you can, and you want to be professional. You want to stay ready, and he's already way ahead of it. He's been here since August. You know, he's been putting in the work. He's been putting in the time, and he's gonna have to learn as he goes. Like, you know, you can only say so much, but you know, the person has to live through it. But I think he's in a great place. He's in a great position right now, and I'm looking forward to watching him grow over the years.
He said you were giving him fashion tips?
Oh yeah, for the gala.
I question that. I question
he
that.
Said, so basically, he said he don't like your swag. That's what he's saying on the under.
No,
That's what he's saying without saying it.
I think you're a conservative dresser, right? There's some other people out there who are a little bit more audacious and flashy.
They are. I mean,
you got to take the rook to go buy him something, man. You the OG vet. You got to go get him something fresh for the gala.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, like, you know, like at the end of the day, I am the OG, as you want to say it. But I mean, I still, like, when you come to the gala, for example, you know, I'm the best dressed there every year.
Ooh,
that's just how it is.
Camera.
We got to put that out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
nothing but a camera to see y'all swag.
Yeah,
you gotta have a red carpet.
That's just how it is. So, you know, I'm giving him some some pointers. So he'll be looking sharp when the gala comes on the 5th.
One last question for you before we let you go, and it ties into this. You've been doing this for 17 years now. You're willing to take the rookies under your wing. You signed up for doing that 2 more times this offseason. You signed an extension with the team. Why 2 more years?
I think that's the longest they can give me. You know, honestly, at this stage, I mean.
You wanted 10.
Are you trying to get 20? Are you trying to get 20 in? Is that a goal?
So there's not really a number. Like,
okay.
When I got into this, like, it's just, you know, I look at it and I'm like, man, you're 17 for me. Like, I can't believe it. Like, you know, me and my wife talk about it. We laugh. And so it's not really no number. But if they could have given me a 4-year extension, I would have took that. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
The man's got to eat.
Are you going to look at, because that'll take you to 19, correct? Mm-hmm. Or are you going to be like, hey, man, I'm trying to get this 20 in? You know, that's a special number, actually.
So maybe
people did it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, you know, we'll kind of see how it is. But I do feel pretty good, and the way that, you know, I'm committed to taking care of myself. I'm enjoying this journey. I'm enjoying the moment. And for me right now, I just want to, you know, I'm trying to bottle all this up right now because you don't get these opportunities very often.
No, you don't.
And the group that we have right here, I feel like has a chance to be very special.
No doubt.
So,
good luck, man.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thank you. Great
to
see you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out.
All right.
All right, tonight at 8 p.m., catch a special Media Day edition of Celtics Post Up on NBC Sports Boston. Amina Smith, Brian Scalabrine, Eddie House, and Chris Forsberg have the best interviews of the day and preview the upcoming season. It's presented by Eastern Propane and Oil. They're in your neighborhood. All right, we got Luke Cornett on set. Lou.
Hey, guys.
That's not a boo. That's a Lou.
I've learned that over the years. Yeah. Well, sometimes it is. So you got to be able to distinguish.
Not in Boston. Yeah. Not in Boston, my friend. Hey, I got to ask you this right off the top, because last year I asked you to break down the rule of verticality. You really enjoyed that. So I have something else prepared that I want to ask you to break down.
All right.
What do you have to do to be able to guest host an episode of View from the Rafters at such a high level that you did last season? I mean, we're talking smashing hit numbers across the board, video, audio.
Stop it.
The people love Luke Cornett.
You know, I guess it's just all the hours of like random interview podcast, comedy shows, SNL, all that stuff. Mom, it paid off. You know, if it was just for that moment, then that was it. And I guess, yeah, it was a lot of fun though. That was a great time.
That was awesome. Yeah. Eddie, I don't know if you heard the episode. So Luke stood in and guest hosted an episode, and he told me right before we started recording, he was like, there have been times where I've just been laying down in bed, and I've woken up in the middle of the night and had a joke in my head, and he had a notepad next to the bed. He was writing it down. Oh, no, it was on your phone, right?
No, it became a problem where I had to start.
That's like coaches. That's like coaches.
Exactly, but not
like
me.
A psycho with that.
Joke ideas for a podcast. Yeah. No, I really had to be like, all right, I got to put this away and just.
This is affecting my life.
Yeah. I got to draw like a cutoff hour where I'm not thinking about it anymore.
Sam said that when you were at the wedding that there was a cornet contest sighting in the building.
So,
did you do a cornet contest?
I did not want to do it. Some of Sam's friends came up, and then they were quite supportive in wanting me to do it. And, you know, as we learned last year, the Phlegmatic, I'm a people pleaser. and so then I did it, but then it got out of, I was not happy to do it. It's its own thing.
Well,
you know, you just let it.
There it is.
Oh,
you really look like you're enjoying yourself here.
I was told all phones would be taken away at this wedding.
Look at how wet his hair is.
That's a flat out lie.
The dance moves. I mean, you have great dance moves.
We had a great time.
We've been told.
Nice of you to join your teammates back.
They have headbands, your shirt is open, your tie is down, and your hair is wet.
So I don't think I've ever been to a wedding where I wasn't immediately really sweaty. And this was like August 4th in the scalding heat of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so, the second I start dancing, I just have to start taking precautionary measures. I also, if you notice in that picture, I look gross. I like facial hair. I was like 4 months in, I think, without a haircut. I don't know what it was, but
I wasn't.
What's your go-to dance move when you're on? I know you've had a lot of weddings this summer.
So it's the Carlton is the one I'll break out if I'm really feeling it.
No, you can't do the Carlton.
I can do the Carlton. I actually just asked to do it back in one of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stand up.
You got to break it down for us. Give it to us real quick.
Are you willing?
I can do it. I don't know if I'm.
No, you're a people pleaser. I thought you were a people pleaser.
Now you're taking advantage of that.
You just said that.
You can't say it out loud.
Peer
pressure.
It'll be
I feel like I'm being peer pressured.
That's what happened at the wedding.
I'm not doing this right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the people.
Folks,
I know it's the material everybody wanted.
We tried.
We tried. That will be a season-long attempt. Just so you know.
Yeah, you guys will have to earn it. Yeah, for sure.
We'll get it on the social channels.
How about after every win, hit the Carlton?
Maybe after certain types of wins or
Big
games
wins?
or like I could probably throw it out in a game, but
Get an and one and.
Yeah, I think you would immediately get taken out by the other team. I think that would happen. Yeah, you would not last long.
Let's turn this a little bit serious.
All right.
What's it like for you to now not be the tallest person on the roster?
No, I agree. So, I played with KP in New York, and so I remember from that. But then it's funny, even when he came back, and I was like, gosh, I forgot he was just quite a bit taller than me. Yeah, and so there's definitely a tucking of tails of mine that goes on, where you used to walk with your chin up a little bit, and now you're just sheepishly walking through the door.
Here's some of your other celebrations.
I was, I don't know what got into me last year, because that was not present for all of my life. I celebrated once in a high school game and got immediate technical for it, and I think I just repressed all those things.
No technical there.
No, I did get one technical this year, first technical for defending my friend and teammate Derek White. who got obliterated in the face. But.
Well,
so
we appreciate you.
Did Derek pay your tech? Now he's supposed to pay your tech. You know that, right?
So I do. The thing is that he got hit, and all I did though was I was on the bench and I took like a step or two forward. So it wasn't like I was going in and getting in the way and like defending him. I literally like turned up the sideline. They blew the whistle. He's like, tech on you for being off the bench, and I immediately just turned around and sat down because I was like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be here.
You didn't even get to get your money's worth.
Oh, it was not at all. It was
how much are the techs now? 2,500.
2,500.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah.
I know you were like 20.
Yeah.
2,500.
Yeah, dollars.
I would have
American.
1,000.
No,
dollars.
Thank you. It's been going up every year
in this economy, you know.
So he did not pay for it.
He did not. But I wasn't expecting. Yeah, it wasn't like the type of situation
push
where
somebody for him. And
I plan to fight for a teammate this year.
Yeah, okay. No, don't do that. We need you. We need you.
No, but talking about the 7-footers, you got 3 of them on the roster when you include Neemias.
Yep.
How is that the tallest roster that you've been around in terms of like the high end?
Yeah, it's definitely pretty up there. So Taco was here when I first got here, which he counts for like 2 7-footers.
He's 7'7".
So yeah, this is definitely up there. My college team for college, we kind of had 3 or near 7-footers around, but like so relative to college. But this is the tallest. I think it's the tallest team I've been on.
A lot of stats.
Definitely.
Now, how excited are you about this season?
Yeah, I'm ready to get going. I think we all are. I think it's just exciting to get back into the gym and like just get to practice and get to working. And I think just having like a very daily approach is something we're excited, just building our team and getting better and improving throughout the year, and especially with kind of the new dynamics we have and abilities to kind of show up on the court. It'll be fun to work together and to be able to piece that together.
Does it feel different than last year? 'Cause I'll go to the year when we won it in 2008, coming into training camp, that first meeting, first time we all got together, it was just a different feel. And that first practice, our second unit, we beat up on the first unit, right? And from that point on, that's how we had spirited competition, and I think that's what drove us to be the best. Are you thinking that that's where this team is at right now?
I do feel like that is kind of how we're feeling and approaching it. We're just ready to compete, and we want to compete. We've had a great last couple weeks and month even in the gym where guys are just ready to play, ready to challenge each other, and ready to kind of just, I think, everyone to take like the next step forward in their games, and for us to do that collectively as a team. I think there is that focus and that energy, and it's a strange thing. It's like it's just there, you know. You just walk into the gym and people are just ready to go at it and ready to compete. And that's it's the most fun to like be in as a player because you just get to go all out and like not think about any of the other stuff. You just get to play. I'm definitely looking forward to getting going.
And looking forward for yourself, for one last question here. With Rob heading out yesterday in that trade, it really does open up an opportunity for you here. What are you looking to try to provide to the team this year? I mean, you did set a career high in appearances last season, but what are you looking forward to for yourself here this season?
It was interesting with the news because I was obviously just sad to hear about Rob and Malcolm, but we'll miss them. But I think for me, from like all of last year, it's kind of the exact same thing where it's like I'm just ready and trying to put myself in the best position for us for that day, for that game, or if I'm not playing for whenever like the next time for me to be available. So I feel like for me, from a perspective shift, I'm just always just looking to do whatever it takes to put our team in the best position for us to win that day or game or week or whatever the situation is. So although that might change some of like what my exact training and type of stuff like that, I think I'm just ready to be the most available and the most prepared I can be for the roles as they come. I feel like it doesn't really change a whole lot other than the tangible perspective of what I'm trying to do, because I've always just tried to be about really winning and nothing else. And I think if that's kind of your guide, it sets everything up for you pretty easily.
Joe Mazzulla's smiling somewhere, because that's exactly what you want to hear from someone in your position. You're just going to buy into every day to provide what the team needs. It's awesome to hear. We can't wait to see you out on the court. We got a game on Sunday, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You got first day of camp tomorrow. But Luke Cornett, man, we appreciate you coming on and having a little bit of fun with us.
Yeah, feel free to do the dance moves on the way out if you want to.
It's not going to happen. But thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it.
See it.
We will get that video this year.
Well, you'll try. Yeah. All right, good to see you.
Interested in becoming a Celtics season ticket member? Take the first step by joining the wait list. You'll get priority access to ticket plans when they become become available. Visit Celtics.com/waitlist to learn more.
All right, we're back on set here with Delano Banton. Hey, man, what's media day #1 been like with the Boston Celtics?
It's been good. Kind of just getting the process, feeling everybody out, but it's been great. Everybody's been welcoming me with open arms, so I've been having a great time, having fun, and getting some great content up.
And you were here with the team for Summer League. You've been back here, it sounds like, for a couple months working out in the gym.
Yeah.
What have you been working on with the team? What have the coaches been trying to tell you they need you to do for this season, rolling up to tomorrow?
Definitely just trying to find myself in the right spots, just knowing what the guys we have with all the talent that we have, just trying to find your way to make yourself available and make yourself useful on the court. So definitely just trying to do what I can, use the intangibles that I have to get other guys going and get these guys open. And
for somebody that's not, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you like that. If somebody's not familiar with your game, can you tell the people like, hey, what do you bring to the table? How do you want to play? How you plan on helping this team win given the opportunity?
Definitely just playing with pace, using my length and versatility, trying to get other guys involved, play with pace, use it on the defensive end. Definitely trying to take pride this year in guarding the other team's top guys and using my length and get these guys off them and save energy for that. But just definitely just trying to find a way, playing with these top guys in the league like JT and JB. So you got to find ways to make yourself available when a lot of focus is on them and try and make things easier.
I read somewhere that you try to model your game after Rajon Rondo. Is that
yeah, he was my favorite player growing up.
Have you had any talks with him, interactions with him?
No, I actually haven't.
You want us to make that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the right spot now.
I think that guy right there could probably make that happen.
Sounds good. Then. We'll talk then.
Yeah, we can holler. Yeah, for sure.
But really, you're 6'7". You've got a great length and wingspan. How did you wind up being a guard and a ball handler?
Well, I had a crazy growth spurt. I grew like 5 or 6 inches in like 6 months when I was in high school. So I wasn't always the tallest. I was probably like 5'10", still in like the 9th grade playing point guard. But then I grew to like 6'4", 6'5", and then
crazy.
My coach just kept me on the ball because he knew how long it would go being like a taller guard.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
Where are you from with that accent?
I'm from Toronto.
Toronto, okay.
Yeah.
You know Mike George?
Yeah, I know Mike George. That's my dog. Yeah.
That's your guy? Yeah, I know Mike George too. He cool dude.
Speaking of being from Toronto, we got 2 of you on the team who are from Toronto, along with O'Shea Brissett. What is that like, having someone who you can talk to and lean on who is familiar with the same area that you grew up in?
It's definitely great. Just having another guy, it just goes to show where basketball in Canada as a whole is going. So, it's great just being able to have 2 people from Toronto because, growing up playing basketball in Toronto, it's like you don't know how far you can make it just with the opportunities that are there. But, it definitely just goes, it's a big thing for Canada basketball, showing we're headed in the right direction with a lot more guys in the league. So, it's great.
You did a few basketball camps in Toronto growing up, but DeMar DeRozan, was he kind of your mentor a little bit?
Not mentor, but just in my neighborhood that I grew up in, we had like a lot of like camps and like giveaways and stuff. So we would have them come. They built a basketball court one time, and then DeMar DeRozan came to another community center to do a camp, and I got to go to a lot of like the Raptors cares and like NBA cares stuff as a kid. So yeah.
First player from Canada ever drafted by the Raptors. That's pretty darn cool. That's history. It's never going anywhere else. What did that mean to you when that happened a couple years ago?
It definitely meant a lot, man. Just wanted to go to the NBA growing up my whole life, but definitely getting drafted to the city that you're from is like 2 dreams come true. So it's great. It's great for me and my family. We loved the opportunity that I had there. I loved the experience, loved the time there. But moving on and trying to get things done here now.
Why did you want to come here?
Just earlier, just knowing that the pride that it is to be a Celtic. Just when you walk into the gym, just the competitive nature, the energy that everybody's going at, the pace, and just knowing all the guys that came before you, and just the history behind the name, and just being able to be a Celtic, I feel like it'll help put you in position to go a long ways, and just definitely just front office and coaches and stuff having a path for me to go and just believing in my game and trying to help me be successful. So
this place develops young players, that's for sure.
Besides Ron Rondo being your favorite player, are there any other players that you kind of draw inspiration from? Somebody that you want to pattern your game after? Somebody that you look at and say, hey, I need to work on this to try to get that incorporated into my game?
I would say a lot of guys. I watch, a lot of guys play. Obviously, like growing up, I watched obviously all the best players. But I would say like somebody who I actually pick to choose and watch and care for, because I really like to pass the ball like Rondo did. So I would only say Rondo for that. But me being taller and like I have to watch other guys watch different moves and get to different space. But like definitely like Sean Livingston, him being another tall guard, 6'8". So definitely guys like that. Maybe
you got that Sean Livingston floater game?
We'll see, man.
Hey, I want all of our fans to really get to know you here. This is your first opportunity to be in front of them. What many of them probably don't know is that you actually spent some time in Massachusetts, right?
Yes, I did.
You went to, was it prep school at Redemption, kind of middle of the state, up at the top?
Yeah, I actually did my first year at the McDuffie School, so that was in Granby, Massachusetts, and then the next following year I wanted to reclassify up to 2018, which is the class I came out of in high school, so I transferred to Redemption Christian Academy.
So what was your time like spending it in Massachusetts before now?
It was good. It was very quiet. It was like a smaller town.
Kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, smaller town, but we would come up to Boston like every couple weeks and stuff like that, go to like Springfield. So I'm like kind of familiar with it a lot, and I know people here. I know a lot of kids that went to my schools are from Boston, so I know some people here. I know some things.
That's great. It's nice to have some familiarity around.
Yes, it is.
Yes, well, we're excited. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good luck this season.
Appreciate it.
Check out the latest Celtics Talk podcast. Chris Forsberg has much more from Celtics Media Day. You can scan the QR code on the screen or find it on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube. It's presented by 24autogroup.com, 11 locations across New England.
Tatum on the cut, takes it all the way and slams it. Blocked by Tatum. We go to overtime.
The Celtics are going to win. There's a Game 7 back in Boston.
White throws it up. Williams throws it down. Williams with a rebound and stick back. Here's Brown. Three-pointer is good. Tied at 106. Tatum going to shoot a three and drill it.
Another three.
Puts it in. 51 for Jayson Tatum.
Brown takes it. Shot. Oh, my goodness.
Tatum puts up a three. Bang! Jayson Tatum from downtown.
We're gonna do it like that.
Let's do it. We are back with Oshae Brissett, and the first thing he said when he walked over to the set, meeting us all for the first time, by the way, he said, we're going to flip this, and I'm going to ask you guys questions. He's got his camera over here.
Yeah, that's cool. You've had this all day.
Yeah, no, I'm just getting some content around.
Can we get a plug? Brissy Files?
Yeah, that's it. And
Let's go.
On YouTube,
on Instagram.
Dang, what is my YouTube? Brissy TV on YouTube. Check me out.
You should know that.
Yeah, I should know that. Just,
Right.
Just for you guys.
All right, questions. Let's go.
Okay, so when you're going to the basket, do you like to kick to the corner, or are you more of a I'm a finish at the rim type of guy?
I know for me, I'm definitely not finishing because I don't have the height. I don't have the strength. I got to kick it to someone else to finish it. Yeah,
I hear that.
So that's just me. Eddie?
Depending on what's going on. I mean, I can't just be predetermined, to be honest with you.
See,
I
that's
get
a
to the
smart
bag,
play
I
right
can
there.
finish, I'm going to finish. If I got to pull up, I'm pull up. But if I ain't got nothing yet, then I'm going to kick it.
Okay.
But I'm looking to get a bucket, man.
I played in high. I was too short, so I would just.
No, let me tell you a little story about Amanda
I knew
Pflugrad.
my- I knew my fate.
We had our media game a few years back at the Auerbach Center, and she drained one in my face.
Nice.
It was like to end a quarter, I think, right? To beat the buzzer, drained it right in
We
my face.
have the video somewhere.
We gotta find that.
Were you
No,
playing
let's
real
not.
defense?
Let's not find that.
Was you playing real defense? Or
Oh,
was
come
you
on,
just let her
Eddie.
shoot?
Come on, don't do me like that.
Some people
Yeah,
be like,
that's
I'll just
crazy.
let her shoot.
No, I was playing real defense.
Thank you. I'll pay you later.
Where did Jay his ass? Give me some. Where did Jay?
So Oshae, first media day with the Celtics, or do you still want to ask questions?
No, I'm good. That's all I want to know. I want to know. Trying to get your player profile.
All right. It's not good. I'll tell you that. Scouting report's not good. First media day with the Celtics.
Yeah.
What's it been like so far? What are your expectations heading into tomorrow?
It's been fun. It's been really fun. It's media day, taking pictures, doing all that stuff. I always say media day is like a ball handling workout. When you do all that stuff, you're just dribbling for 10 minutes, whatever, just
a whole bunch of stuff. But it's fun. I'm excited. Putting my jersey on is crazy. Going to my locker and seeing the jersey was a surreal moment, especially because it's Boston. Know how much history is in this team, and now to have my name on a jersey, it's crazy.
What made you choose number 12?
So honestly, my first year coming to the NBA, I was always number 11. From like high school, college, I was number 11. But I was in Exhibit 10 for Toronto, so I was really like trying out for the team. They asked me what number I wanted. I said 11. But there was a guy who was also in Exhibit 10 coming in, but he had more years in the NBA. So they gave him 11 because he wanted 11.
Okay.
So I just tried to go one up, get 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had to carry it over here.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Maybe for those that aren't familiar as much with you, how would you describe your overall style of play, and what can you bring this team?
For me, I feel like I'm a little bit of everything. I could be really key on the defense, do a lot on offense. That's kind of how I pride myself, just doing a little bit of everything. I try not to just be one-trick pony, which sounds crazy basketball because we play offense and defense, but I just feel like there's a lot of guys out there that really stick to just one thing. But for me, I like to expand and just learn, and this is an opportunity for me to expand as well, because we have guys who are really amazing on offense. So playing off of them is going to be really fun. And just
you get a lot of open looks.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. Yeah, focus on them. Look at those guys. I'll be standing over there waiting for my shot.
How excited are you about this season? I mean, especially with all the moves that have been made, Kristaps Porzingis coming in. Also, yesterday, the news dropping that Drew Holiday has been traded for. How excited about this opportunity. The window is open right now, and it's just a matter of, are we going to get in it or not? So how excited are you about trying to get through that window?
I'm really excited. Ever since I found out this is where I was going to be, I was, looking forward to the season. Just playing, getting back in the NBA groove. Summer's long, especially when you finish in April.
It's not going to be long.
Not going to be long here, and I'm excited for that. But nah, man, I'm really excited. Just different culture, winning culture, and you can just feel it, through practice. The little practice that we've had, it's a different vibe, and it's something that I respect, for all the guys that have been here and are doing everything it takes to again, have a longer season.
This is the first time that you've been on a roster that is primed to win a championship.
For sure.
Right? This guy over here, he knows all about winning a championship and playing in that kind of role off of the stars. Eddie, what would you tell O'Shea that he needs to bring into camp from a mindset perspective, from an on-the-court perspective of how to excel around these great players?
Well, I think the most important thing is to talk to the coach and find out what he wants you to do, right? And then be a star in that role, whatever it is. It might be 18 minutes one game. Well, I'll speak for myself. It might be 18 minutes some games. It might be 28 minutes some games. It might be only 12 minutes some games. But in those minutes, make them meaningful, make them count, and just find out what exactly it is that they want from you. And then now as opposed to trying to figure out, and you think you got to do this, but that's not really what they need from you. They need something else. So find out, get your role carved out, define your role, and be a star in that role.
For sure.
I'm actually really interested to know what you know about what that role is going to be, because I think a lot of people, I know you, I know all about your game. I'm a Syracuse guy. Yeah. I know your game. Let's go. Let's go Cuse.
Yes, sir. Go
but
Cuse.
You came into the league as more of a wing, playing a lot of three. Slowly you've shifted over. You spent, I believe it's calculated, 92% of your minutes last year were at power forward. What do you expect to be your role on this team? Is it going to be 4? Is it going to be 3? What do you expect?
Honestly, I feel like I could be put anywhere. Look at the guys that we have out there. We could play really big. We could play, some big, like 2 big. We could play 1. And then I feel like with that, I would end up at the 4. If we play 2, I would end up at the 3. But again, talking to coach and figuring out what that role is, offensively, it doesn't matter where I am. I feel like I'll be able to fit in whatever it is. And it's just, for me, honestly, I feel it's going to be bringing energy offensively and defensively, whether it's coming off the bench, whether it's starting some games, whatever it is, being that energy guy to kind of flip the game around if we're having a little low, if we're having, some slow starts, coming in with that second unit and just bringing the energy for real.
Being on a team that has a championship opportunity, right? A championship caliber team, but coming from somewhere that did talk about the difference. A lot of people don't understand it. Culturally there is difference, and people talk about it, but you feel it, you understand it, and it's from the top to the bottom. The ball boys to the equipment guys, everybody has a sense of this is how we get down over here. Talk about the difference from coming from a team that's a non-contender to a contender.
Well, I've only been here really 2 weeks, but
And no shade on nobody else.
No, for sure. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been here working out. They don't have to be here right now. They could have been here today. They could have just got here today and started camp tomorrow. Obviously, those are, our all-stars. They don't have to be here. Al Horford, year 17, he's here working out, playing with all the guys who are coming in and the young guys. So that in itself shows, all right, we're really trying to build some, togetherness and a winning culture because we're getting after it beforehand. And again, it's not just the guys who quote-unquote have to be here. It's the guys who are going to play 30, 40 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody. And it's a full team, and we're all here learning each other because we all know that goes a long way.
How does seeing that motivate you even more as a player, knowing that the vets are in it?
A whole bunch. It shows that, they're willing and ready to go to war. And if we're not going to follow suit, the guys come in and the young guys, then there's no place for us on the team. And I think that we've all shown that being there and playing and really competing at a level that's going to take us where we want to be throughout the season.
Continuing on that conversation you guys were having about kind of like figuring out what that role is. One of the small, we haven't talked about this at all today, but in losing Rob Williams, one of the best screen setters on the team, right? You want to know how to become a great friend of Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum is set great screens.
Great screens, yeah.
What's your background in that perspective? Because I've watched some film on you. You've got some background in setting veer screens and all that stuff. Like, what's the baseline of what you try to accomplish when you're setting screens out there to free guys up?
Knock them, hit them, get them.
Gotta be physical.
Yeah, and it's like, again, nothing malicious or nasty, but being there at the right time, it's still, I'm going to have to learn, JT and Jaylen Brown when they have the ball and what they like to do. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to set a screen, I'm going to make sure. Because it's going to free them, but my guy's going to go because those are all-stars. I'm going to roll and be wide open, if I set the right screen and do it correctly.
And the right screen is also the right angle, making sure you have the right angle. If you don't want them to go over the top, you're trying to force them to go under. There's certain ways you could set screens. So, he understands, and he was hitting it right there.
Yeah, for sure.
And for everyone who hasn't watched a lot of O'Shea Brissett, this man is stronger than he looks, too. He is. You've played some minutes at center in your NBA career, so we're looking forward to it.
I'm really excited, man. I can't wait.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah,
I love it.
Throw me in there. I'll do
and
whatever.
Qs.
Go Qs. Go Qs this year.
Have you caught up with Matt Reynolds yet on Syracuse?
I have not.
Okay, you got to do that.
I have not.
He's the other Syracuse guy on the staff. So
okay,
love it. All right, O'Shea, we appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
If you need any more questions asked to us, feel free to come back.
All right, I will.
Right,
Thank you guys.
All right,
appreciate
that. This season. All right, now there's a new way to stay in the game. Sign up to receive text messages from the Boston Celtics and be the first to know about offers, content, sweepstakes, and more. Visit Celtics.com/text to opt in.
On a dime, pulls up, jumpers. Tatum finding the space side three. It's good. Tatum's been unstoppable. Step back, another three. Puts it in. Jayson Tatum is scorching right now. Tatum knocks down another. He's unguardable. Between the legs, sidestep, puts up another three. Down. Tatum tornado continues. He's got 41. Tatum gets inside. Bank shot is good. Tatum drives. Tatum finishes left-handed, lays it up and in. Gets inside, throws it up and in. Tatum fires away, puts it in. 51 for Jayson Tatum in Game 7.
Just something to bite on to put on top of it. Just any little something to put.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Media Day. Eddie, what kind of sandwich were you wanting? I know we're getting a little hungry here.
My stomach was growling.
I have an apple under the desk. Would that hold you over?
Apple a day keeps the doctor away.
I got a banana, but
no, that's y'all. I'm not gonna eat y'all food. They're gonna find something for me.
All right.
Well, guys, we have a little bit of time before Jayson Tatum will be joining us.
Oh, Jayson Tatum.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
The man.
But what are you noticing? From what the guys are saying, they're ready. They want to get to work. What are you noticing from this team? Not to say that we're comparing it to the 2008 team when you guys said you came in for training camp and you could feel a difference, but does this feel different a little bit?
I think what this team is you feel the excitement. I think everybody's excited. Not only the guys that have been here, but the new guys. They're excited to be a part of something that's different, that's new, that's winning. The culture change. And I played on the team when I was I went from Miami to the Clippers, and you talk about a culture difference, and you feel it. And when you go from something that's winning to something that's losing and get back to something that's winning, you respect it more. You don't take it for granted like, oh, this is how it's always going to be. So I think that these guys are excited. They're ready to work, and it all starts from the top. And I'm talking about from Brad on all the way down. And everybody has that feel, and it does feel like, oh, wait, it does feel like, okay, we have something that we're excited about, and all the players feel it. I feel it myself. And I think that move yesterday, put the icing on the cake for me was like, because once he got traded to Portland, I'm like, we got to get him somehow. If we can figure out a way to get him, I think that would be, like I said, the piece that put us over the top, and they were able to pull it off, and I think that everybody's excited about it. Everybody has an opportunity to come in and contribute, and Joe is excited after having a year, so a whole year last year, and then having a whole off season to prepare, to wrap his mind around this is what my job is going to be, and for everybody else too. I think that there's nothing but excitement around here.
Eddie, I'm glad you said it starts from the top, because it really does. You look back to your year when you guys won the championship, it started with those trades. It started with Danny Ainge making those trades and going for it. It started with ownership approving those trades, right? Now we look at this. Yesterday, it's ownership approving a trade to spend big money to bring a guy like Drew Holiday in. And now
Sorry, Marc, we're going to interrupt you.
You're going to have to cut that short, man.
Jason.
We got the man in the building. You got to cut that show quick.
Listen, talking about starting from the top, this is it right here, right? Like, Jason, the guys have been talking all day about how you and Jaylen have been here for a couple weeks now, putting in the work well before training camp. Why did you want to be here early to kind of set the tone of what this camp is going to be?
I think it's important, right? What we're trying to accomplish. And we play a team sport, right? You want everybody to be on the same page. And, it's a lot of guys that were here a month and a half, 2 months ago, right? And all the younger guys. So, I was eager to come back, eager to, be around the guys. We got a lot of new coaches. So just getting, ready. So by tomorrow, we all hit the ground running.
You put some weight on this summer? You're looking big.
You can see it.
You're looking big, man.
Your shoulders.
Yeah, I put on, I'm like 225 now. I was like 214 last season.
Wow.
There you can see it in his shoulders.
Good luck rest of the league.
Yeah, right, for real. So this is my question. For somebody that got everything in his bag, that is all NBA player, that's had all the success, what did you work on? What was your mindset going into this summer like? What areas were you saying, I have to get better in these areas? Because, to me, you look at your Madden rating, your 2K rating, to me, you probably got A+ everywhere, right? So what was it that you was like, I specifically got to work on this because I feel that that's kind of a weak spot in my game?
I would say being able to dictate, what I want to do and not let the defenders or the defense, right? And being able to pick my spots and being able to dominate the game. Not just scoring, but in all areas, whether it's, being aggressive first quarter or whether it's getting other guys involved first quarter in late game situations, making the right play, and being more efficient, right? Just how can I continue to grow, continue to be the best version of me while, helping the team out and making sure we're on the right path.
And was that 10 pounds that you put on, was that part of being able to dictate where you go? Did you feel that defenders were getting a little bit more physical than what you liked, and so you had to be able to deliver a blowback or be able to stand your ground? Was that part of it?
A little bit, and I think I'm just getting a little bit older, and I think my body is maturing season after season, but just knowing that we're trying to play till June, every year, and it's going to be a long season. So making sure that, my body is in the right condition to, withstand, all the games and the minutes and, whatever they need me to do.
I know this offseason you also put in some work with Paul Pierce. We have some footage of that. How was that, just getting a chance to work out with him and maybe learn from him as well?
It was great. I spent every day with Paul for like 3.5, 4 weeks. And he would come in the gym every morning, and he would work out with me in the weight room, and he would follow us to the gym while I worked out with my trainer Drew, and he would watch. And it was just cool to have him around because, even he started to get motivated. Paul lost like 15, 18 pounds.
You could see it, too.
That's what he said.
While he was out there. And you could tell he it was motivation for him, and he kind of felt younger, and it was an honor for us to have him around. And he just, in a sense, became like one of the guys, and it was great to have him around. He told stories, I asked him questions, and it was a big part of the summer, and look forward to him coming to training camp and stuff like that, and seeing him around more often.
Was there one piece of advice that maybe stands out to you that he told you this summer, or maybe a story that really sticks out when you think back to that time?
I think just all the little things that he took away from his championship team in 08, and just how close you have to be as a unit, and how you need other guys to feel important, and which they are, but just how you need everybody on the team, to help win a championship. Because one series, somebody might be the X factor that's different from the next series, but they all add up. And just all the stories that he was telling me, and every team meeting and things they did off the court as a group, and just things that made that 08 team so special.
So we're about 5 minutes in right now. We haven't even mentioned the two gigantic moves that the team made during the offseason, one of which was yesterday, bringing in Drew Holiday, the other back in June, bringing in Kristaps Porzingis. Reaction, first and foremost, to the trade yesterday. Obviously, you got to lose a couple of your close buddies. You posted about that on Instagram, but the guy that you're bringing in, how do you think that he affects your team and your guys' ability to get over that hump and win this year?
No, I mean, Drew's a great player, great person. I had the privilege of being on the same team with the Olympic team 2 years ago. We won a gold medal. Obviously, he's won a championship, and he's, as respected as anybody in this league. It's just how he carries himself, how he plays on both ends of the ball. So very fortunate and lucky to have him. But on the same side, right, I spent 5 or 6 years with Rob. That's somebody I was really, really close with. Somebody that was a big part of the success that we had as an organization over the last couple of years. So to see him get traded, right, is tough. Right? Somebody you grow, build a relationship with, and things happen fast, right? Nobody saw that coming, and so you feel for that, as well as Malcolm. He was only here for a year, but right, it was a great season that we all had last year. Somebody that I really respect, and he was a true professional. So it's always great gaining new teammates, talented guys, but it's always tough, seeing your friends, transition to another team.
And that same thing happened with the Porzingis trade. Obviously, you got to say goodbye to Marcus Smart, but you do bring in a 7'3" guy who can score on the perimeter, post up, run pick and rolls with you. How do you see him affecting what you and Jaylen are doing on a daily basis, and what does that open up that you might not have had the past couple years?
Yeah, I think he just adds another dynamic of versatility, right? As tall as he is, he can stretch the floor. I don't think we've necessarily had a presence, as tall as he is, that is as talented he is on the offensive end. And, I'm really excited about that. Somebody that can push the floor, spot up and shoot threes, take it down to the post. Just something that we really haven't had to that level, right, since I've been here. So really, really excited, to have him on our team.
I want to go back to something you were saying about what Paul told you about the 08 team is, everybody, you're going to need somebody. It's somebody every time, right? For example, in Game 4, the finals, right, I hadn't played that much. Sam was having a problem. Kobe was guarding Sam. Kobe was guarding Rondo. They put me in the game, and I go. So that was one of my games. We come back from 24, so I had to be ready. But it all stems from our very first training camp practice we had. Our second unit kicked the first unit's ass, and we came in talking. And so that next two practices, they tore our ass up. And so that's the type of connection that I feel like this team has to have. You have to set that tone, and like if y'all tear them up, come in there, oh man, where y'all at? I don't even see y'all. Well, y'all supposed to be, I thought y'all best second unit y'all supposed to be the best second unit in the league. I don't see, but it's all in competition banter.
For sure.
And then next thing you know, now y'all, every practice is a grind. And if we grind against each other like that, we go see these cats. Our second unit is probably run through half of the first units. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm excited for that reason because there is depth here. We talked about Porzingis. He adds a post-up presence, pick and roll presence. He's going to be down there. He's going to have to up his rebounds a little bit. but the versatility that you guys have on the defensive end, I'm talking about from Peyton Pritchard, Derek, Drew, you, and also JB. It's going to be tough for guys to get to the basket.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tough. And are you planning on trying to go to be an all-NBA defensive team player?
Yeah, so that was, I think I did an interview this summer, and they asked me what my goal was. Obviously, to win a championship is always first and foremost, but I would love to make one of those all-defensive teams with one of my teammates. That's something that, I would really be proud of, and it's a group effort, but that's something I really, really want to hang my hat on this season.
Last season, it's not as if Joe came into camp and was like, offense before defense, but he certainly put more of an emphasis on the offense, and you guys trying to play fast and really spread it around on the perimeter. But this season, it really sounds like you guys are back to saying it's defense or nothing. Like, that's where it all starts. Why is that so important to what you guys do want to accomplish fast forward into June?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't want to sacrifice either. I want to be the best offensive team. I want to be the best defensive team because, we have that much talent. We have the group that is willing and capable to make the sacrifices to do that. It's going to be tough. It's not easy. It's a talented league. But to get to where we're trying to get to, especially in the playoffs, that late in the season, we got to hang our hat on defense. We got to get stops because some nights, the shots that go in is not always going to go in, right? We're going to have some off-shooter nights, but we got to rely on defense to get stops. And, we got to be able to win games when offense is not clicking that night. And I think that's a true test of a really, really good team.
Do you feel it? Do you feel it right now? Like the energy, the anticipation, the excitement that when the window's open, it ain't open that long. You know what I mean? So I feel it. I'm over here excited. Like, I want to suit up if I could, to get out there, give y'all a couple threes. But really, it's I feel it.
Yeah.
So do you feel it? Like, you the main guy. So if you got to feel it, and then everybody else going to feel it. How are you feeling right now about this season?
No, I'm excited. It's a great day. Take all these pictures, but I'm ready for tomorrow.
You want to see the ball bounce.
I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready to get out there and compete with guys. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it starts on day one. We got some new faces and new group, so I'm ready to get that rolling. I'm ready to, build some camaraderie and some chemistry, compete, get after each other, because it goes by fast. Like, this is my 7th year in the league coming up, and I'm trying. You don't want to take any years for granted because they go by fast. So enjoy each and every day. Don't take it for granted, and just get ready for the season.
How Deuce doing, man?
He doing good. He in kindergarten now, so he a big boy. He'll be 6 in December, so that's flying too.
Really quickly before we do let you leave, you hung out with Kevin Hart this off season. Was that really Deuce's jersey that you gave him? Because I think that would probably fit me or probably be too big on me if I tried to put that on.
No, so that.
Here we go. That fired it up.
That was not his actual jersey.
Look at his face, though.
But it got some good feedback.
Yeah, no, I loved that. I loved that.
It was funny.
I believed it.
That's hilarious.
How was it getting to do this with him? I know he's kind of like a mentor to you in some ways, right?
Yeah, this was fun because this was like easy, right? We have a relationship. We talk all the time, so doing this was just it was another conversation just with cameras and people watching.
Yeah.
So it was real authentic and organic, and we just had fun with it.
So let me ask you this, because I was in your position before. Talk about how much fun it is to experience going into playing in the league, your son being right there next to you, being in the locker room and having all. Just talk about how much fun that is, because to me it was one of the best moments that I had playing. It was here with the Celtics, mm-hmm. Even though he went everywhere with me, but here with the Celtics, winning, they allowed him to be the ball boy and all of those type of things. Just speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, it was great, and I didn't realize how big Deuce would be, but.
A star.
I didn't envision that happening, but it's gotten so much more fun as he's gotten older, right? And to be able to more and more understand, what I'm doing in the games. He asked me the other day, do you have a game yet? Do you have a game yet? So he's excited. He loves coming to the Garden. He loves running around. He loves coming to the back and playing with the guys. So seeing him grow up here and the relationship that he's had and how much fun he has being around, it's really cool to see that, we growing up in Boston together, essentially.
And one last question before we let you go, and it kind of alludes to that, but you said this summer in that same story with Jeff Goodman that you've just started feeling that real connection with the city, kind of like Deuce is probably feeling that connection with the city because he's really growing up here. Why did that just start now? And can you describe what that feeling is of having that connectivity of where you're playing and where you're calling home now?
When I got here, I was 19.
Yeah.
All right, I was.
Couldn't even drink.
Yeah, I was a baby. I was 19. I was coming into a new city, starting a new job. Deuce was born 3 months later. I was a real skinny, quiet kid. And for me, I just always identified with being from St. Louis, right? It's like I didn't pick to come here. I just, somebody told me to come here. So it was hard at first. And I think just when you think about it, I bought my first home in Boston. I bought my first car. My son was born in Boston. I've spent almost 7 years of my life. I'm 25. That's it's a big chunk of my life in the city of Boston, and I've grown to build a lot of relationships away from the organization, right? Like people that I know in Boston, and I've had so many great memories here that, I would say over the last year and a half or two that I've really, felt like I was a part of Boston, and that's a hell of a feeling.
Mm-hmm. It's good to hear. It's only going to get stronger when you get that chip. Just
sure.
I know it. You can say it, right?
No doubt.
I mean, what was your feeling about the city after you guys won?
Well, about the city, first of all, let me say this. Boston fans are different from any other fans. They understand the game. You could talk to a guy that's on the airplane and you could start talking basketball and he knows what he's talking about. A lot of fans are casual fans. They really don't understand the game or the ins and outs of how the game goes or how you could put together a team and who's missing. Well, these fans get it. And, winning the championship and competing. And one thing about it, too, I wasn't a star. I never had your talent, right? But I competed. I played hard. I left it out on the court, and they respect that. So winning the championship just put everything over the top. When you guys are playing and we're working at the Garden, I go through it's man, lights, camera, action. They taking pictures. They want, it's love, and it's genuine love from the fans. So it is something that's extremely special. It's different from other cities. I played in a lot of other cities, but by far Boston has been the best. For sure.
We can't wait to see if you guys hang that banner this season. I know that's the goal, and it all starts tomorrow, man. What are you most looking forward to for practice number one?
I mean, just to get out there, right? I've missed playing basketball. I've missed competing, missed being with the guys on the team. Summer is fun, but I love to play basketball, so I'm excited to get back to doing that.
Great.
Right back at it.
Thank you. Great to see you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, JT. Good luck this season, man.
Good to see you.
The Celtics play their first preseason game on Sunday when they host the 76ers. Our coverage starts at 5:30 p.m. with Celtics pregame live. It's presented by TD Bank.
Hey guys, first thanks for having me. That was a really cool introduction. When you look at your hand, each finger has its own individual role. It can't fully succeed without the rest of the guys. And so teamwork is really, really important, but so is individual performance. And so coming here is one piece, and then taking everything that you learned and continuing to do it for long periods of time is the most important. There are always going to be hard things no matter what you do, right? So I think that's really important for, your guys at a young age to understand it's just not going to be easy. It's not how it works. So understanding that and embracing that is really important.
Just you and me.
I know. Eddie's fueling up for the second half, but just that conversation with Jayson, and you can really feel it, the excitement with this team, and what he said, he's ready to get back to work.
Yeah, I think everyone is.
Yeah.
Everyone is, and it all starts today, but the real work starts tomorrow. But the thing that stood out to me, right when I turned up, you saw me. I was talking to you guys, and then I saw him come.
And I was like, Marc, we need you to stop
Marc,
talking
shut
right
up.
now.
Let the big man say. And I turned. I mean, He looks big.
Yeah, he's definitely
he looks big.
put on weight.
He said he put on 11 pounds during the offseason, but he looks big and strong, and that is a dangerous thing for opponents. Last season, Jayson Tatum set a career high in and ones completed. That's 50. I would not be surprised with that strength that goes up to 60, 75 this season, and that's a big play for him, being able to finish through contact around the rim. That changes things for Boston offensively when he can score in that fashion.
And just to, the dedication that he did put in this offseason, we've been seeing this, and I really like it, but Jaylen Brown and Derek White, they were with Paul Pierce and KG taking in the USC-Colorado game, and then he's working out with Pierce, just kind of the legends coming back and setting that foundation for the younger guys too. That's really special to see.
And I can say, so Paul came on our podcast last season, shameless plug, View from the Rafters last season. You can listen to the episode with Paul Pierce, but he came on and he specifically spoke about wanting to kind of bridge that gap between that team and this team. He legitimately wanted to get to know Jayson and Jaylen and establish these relationships, and he said that he was even talking to Kevin Garnett about that, saying, hey, KG, we got to put ourselves out there. We got to come back to Boston more often. We've got to put in the time to establish and grow these relationships. And put your money where your mouth is. Paul Pierce did that this offseason, right? You just heard it right from the horse's mouth. Jayson Tatum was with Paul Pierce pretty much the whole offseason working out. Paul was putting in the work, lost a bunch of weight.
Well, he said he was really, really out of shape. And so now he's
in shape,
yeah.
Right? Now he's in shape. I bet you he could come back and score 10 or 15 points if we needed it. But no, I appreciate the fact that these two guys, KG and Paul, are putting in the effort to establish and grow these relationships and kind of bridge that gap between these two teams that at this point are 15 years apart from when that last championship got won.
Well, we're going to look at some schedule highlights, from what you've seen with the Celtics schedule, Marc, games that maybe stand out to you or ones that you've had highlighted on your calendar.
Well, I can tell you a couple that are highlighted right now, and that's two matchups with the Bucks, the first of which you can see here, November 22nd, when Dame and Giannis will take on this new revamped Celtics lineup. It's going to be a great matchup. I think everyone out there thinks that it's a two-horse race in the Eastern Conference with Boston and Milwaukee, and that's going to be our first opportunity to really figure out how these two teams stack up. Then you look at opening night, we got first game at the Knicks, and then right after that, 2 days later, we're taking on that Heat team that we really have a distaste for. Do you have a distaste for the Heat? Because I know I do.
Oh, yes,
after these past couple seasons. It's just been growing. It might be the best rivalry in terms of Eastern Conference that we've got in the NBA right now, and so I'm excited for that. Obviously, for the first time on Christmas Day, we're playing in LA against LeBron and the Lakers, so that should be fun, but a lot of great games on the schedule. And what I noticed and when I was doing my schedule breakdown when it came out is they're really spread out across the whole season. We've got more of the good ones at home during the second half of the season, but you look at the whole totality of the schedule, there's a lot of good games every single month of the calendar.
Let's also talk about the in-season tournament. I know some people are excited, some people aren't. I know, but just can you break that down for us of just how that's going to look? I know that there's a lot of moving parts as well, but I think we have a graphic that we can put up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. In-season tournament, I'm excited for it. I know you and I have talked about this before, but I'm excited about this because it just adds a new element to what we've gotten used to in the NBA, right? It's been an 82-game season every single year. Now we've got something new and exciting to look forward to, and you see Boston's schedule right here. What we're going to see is the games that are going to be played on Tuesdays and Fridays in November are the ones that count toward the in-season tournament. And then 3 teams from each conference, depending on their win-loss schedule from their play-in games here, are going to come out and be the winners of their groups. Then there's going to be 1 wild card winner from each conference. So 4 teams from each conference move on to the quarterfinals. They're going to match up. We don't know who that team's going to be that the Celtics are going to play there in early December, but we're looking forward to that. And then the winners of that actually go out to Vegas this year for the semifinals and the finals. And this will be the first time an actual regular season game will be played in Las Vegas. You and I have been out there for Summer League. We're talking the real deal now.
For Summer
We're talking
League.
the real deal. And listen, I said put your money where your mouth is. The NBA has done that because every player on the winning team is getting an extra $500K in their pocket, okay? And that's not chump change. I guarantee you anyone in the NBA is going to want that $500,000. So the losing team, second place team, gets $250,000 per player. But those guys are going to want that money, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the excitement around it. I think the players are excited. And again, it just getting back to what I started out saying, it just changes things up, right? Like we've gotten used to the 82-game schedule, and this throws a nice little fun wrinkle in there that's got a lot of money on the line too.
Well, you look to the Celtics, I mean, just this offseason, adding 2 new assistant coaches, Sam Cassell and also Charles Lee. Just your, background on them and maybe what they can bring to this Celtics team.
Yeah, I mean, you look at both of them. They both have championship experience. Sam Cassell won a championship here. He's been an assistant for a long time under Doc Rivers at a couple different stops. And listen, I've gotten to meet Sam a couple times. He's come on the podcast before. I just spoke to him a couple weeks ago. He's just chill, man. He's good energy. He's never going to get too riled up. We got someone who could talk about him right now. Eddie, we're talking about Sam Cassell right now and what he brings to the table. But he's always going to be even-keeled, and he really knows the game at both ends. This guy's won multiple championships in the NBA as a point guard. And the one thing that stood out to me when I talked to him a couple weeks ago is he said, let's not concentrate on this championship every single day. He said, let's just concentrate on the day-to-day. Let's win today. Let's win tomorrow when that day comes, and not concentrating on that championship at the end of the season every day, but instead concentrating on right now. What are your takeaways from your relationship with Sam and what he's going to provide to this coaching staff?
Well, Sam is respected by every player. Anybody he's played with or anybody that he's coached.
You got some food? No, I'm just joking.
Don't play with me because I got this beard. I'm like, I got the... But no, he's respected by the players, and I think that's one thing that he's going to bring here. He brings not only his championship pedigree, but he's played here and won a championship. He's been in deep playoff runs as a coach on the bench. He's been around from the old school to the new generation. I think he's that bridge where, okay, he could bridge old school to the new school and don't turn off the youngsters, where they not listening to him. I think that he'll be that voice, that second voice, because they're going to listen to Joe, right? But that second voice of experience, I think it's a perfect mix for what we got going on.
And then
moving on to Charles Lee,
the experience with the Bucks and also working with Drew Holiday.
Well, that's important right there. Having a working relationship already with Drew Holiday, it's going to probably make Drew a lot more comfortable coming in, because when you don't go from one team to another, it is a little bit of an adjustment and getting used to people around, knowing people's names. If you have a familiar face in that crowd, it always makes that transition a little bit seamless and a little bit more easier and comfortable to do. So I think, and just his experience of being championship team, being on teams that make deep runs into the playoffs and things like that, I thought they did a great job hiring the right people moving forward for this season.
A little bit more about Charles Lee. I mean, you look around the league, there's 30 teams, there's probably at least 4 or 5 assistant coaches on every one of those teams. So let's call it a pool of 150 assistant coaches in the league. Charles Lee is at the very top of that. Like he is knocking on the door of a head coaching job. Okay, so if you're talking about adding, and Sam Cassell is in the same conversation. Okay, so you're adding 2 guys who the rest of the league regard to be maybe 2 of the top 10 assistant coaches in the entire league that are now working under Joe, who was also, before he became the head coach, regarded as one of the top assistants in the league. So just a stacked coaching staff, and Joe is excited about this. He reached out to both of them to bring them here. He wanted them on his staff, and I think they're both going to accentuate what the Celtics are trying to accomplish at both ends of the court this year.
Eddie, I want to talk to you just about when you were, having the conversation with Al Horford about just being in the league for as long as he has, but also, we have Derek White.
We'll
get back to that.
I didn't even know that was you.
D. White.
We got a mic coming in for you.
Great to see you.
I like the new look.
Change things up with the hair.
I like the new look. New look, new year, right?
Yeah, that's us. That's us.
How have the guys responded to the hair?
They've been good.
Yeah.
Everybody's been liking it. I was just wondering what JT thought about it, and he liked it super good.
Oh well, then you're great.
Yeah.
You got the approval.
That's all I needed.
The approval from JT, that's important. When did you do it?
I did it like a couple weeks after the season ended. Yeah.
Was you tired of them talking about your hairline? Was that what it was?
Nah, I was actually going to do it regardless, but now everybody on Twitter thinks they're the reason, so Twitter needs a win, so we'll give it to them.
Don't give them a W real quick.
We'll give it to him.
Hey, do you guys know his backstory? Like, so I called his game at Colorado, right? And Coach Tad Boyle, fantastic coach, great job, does a great job over there at Colorado. So I called one of his games. It was their senior year, I believe it was. And I'm like, who is this kid? He came out of nowhere, because I did a lot of games where it wouldn't be a pro on the court. And I was like, this kid's a pro. And so they said, where did you come from? What did you go to school for originally?
I went to the University of Colorado Springs, D2 in Colorado Springs.
Originally to do what?
It's not a culinary school.
Okay.
That was the myth was that it was a culinary school, but I was getting recruited by Johnson & Wales, and that was a culinary school.
Okay, so that's how the story goes.
That coach left and went to UCCS, so that's where the confusion was.
Okay.
But I probably should have went to the culinary school, because I can't cook for nothing.
No, you did the right thing. You did the right thing.
You can hire your own cook now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely have and needed to.
I hear Luke Cornett's actually a really good cook. Has he cooked for you guys?
You know, Luke had baked some sweets from time to time last season, and they were elite.
I heard he's really good.
He could be taking credit. I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't either.
How excited are you about right now? About this season, getting ready to get started? I mean, are you feeling it?
Yeah, it's always, the first day is always exciting, but I mean, I love the group that we have here. Obviously, adding KP and Drew is going to be big additions for us, and I've been excited all summer, just ready to get back at it.
For a minute there, a couple months, you lost your backcourt dog, right? Like on the defensive side, like you and Marcus Smart, no one wants to play against that backcourt. Now you get a new dog coming in now, Drew Holiday. I mean, how excited are you about what you two can accomplish defensively against these opposing teams? I guarantee no one out there wants to play against you guys right now.
Yeah, I mean, Drew's been one of the best defenders in the league for his whole career, and I mean, I'm just looking forward to getting out there and competing with him. One of the best competitors in the league, so it's going to be a big challenge for us each and every night, and I'm going to learn a lot from Drew, and hopefully it'll add up some wins.
That being said, day before training camp is when this goes down, right? How do you guys kind of adjust on the fly now that not everything, but a lot changed yesterday, the day before you guys get together for the first time? How do you adjust on the fly?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's spoke so highly about Drew and the kind of teammate he is, so I think we're going to adjust pretty quickly with him, and KP's been here for a couple of weeks now, and just playing with him and getting to know him has been cool, so just adding those two special talents is going to do a lot for our team, and we even added like O'Shea Brissett and Lamar, like those are going to be big additions for us too, and we're pretty deep from top to bottom.
No question.
I'll let you go.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the other thing. I was thinking about end of the game situation. What are teams going to do with this? You, Drew, Jayson Tatum, JB, and Porzingis or Al out there? I say put Porzingis out there. How do you think teams are going to react? What can they do? What do you think they could do? Nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to figure it out. But and we got a lot of different weapons, a lot of guys that done great things in this league so far. So I think it's going to be fun for us. You never know who will be night in or night out. And I think everybody's just going to be unselfish with it and know what's best for the team.
And so, like last year, the defense kind of took a step back, I thought, from the previous year. The offense came out the gates blazing. But with you guys' defensive versatility, I think JT spoke about it. He was talking about you guys are going to focus on defense. You want to be a great offensive team too, but you want to be the best defensive team. With you guys' defensive versatility, you have yourself, you have Drew. JT was talking about he wants to be all NBA. I haven't talked with Jaylen yet, so I'm going to ask him that same question. With that mentality, how excited are you about that versatility and being able to go out and night in, night out, knowing, because I played on the team in 08, but we knew we was locking things down, period, as a team. You know, you had your dog in the back, but we was locking things down as a team. It was going to make it rough. How excited are you about knowing that that's on the forefront, that's on the horizon for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's important for us. every team that's won a championship and competed for a championship has been a good defensive team. And so with the guys we have on this team, the different versatility that we can do and throw out there, that's got to be the mindset we have day in and day out. And whether you make shots, miss shots, like you can always guard, you can always defend, and that gives you a chance to win each and every night. So that's a big part for us this season. And I mean, we got our guys like JT and JB talking like that. Like it's going to be big for us, and everybody's just going to fall in line with that.
We just saw some B-roll there of you blocking shots. Led the league among guards last season in block shots. What is it about you and the way you play defense that leads to block shots? Because not last season, but the one before that, you were second in the league among guards. So you're always at the very top. Why?
I don't know. I mean, I've always kind of blocked shots my whole career. I mean, going back to my D2 days, I was like second in the RMAC in block shots. So it's kind of always what I've done is like part of my game, and I mean, I'm not afraid to jump or anything. So just got to go out there and get a stop any way I can.
I'm going to answer it for him, though, because that's the humble answer. He got great instincts. He has the ability to understand where the ball is going to be at, right? He can stay and guard his own yard. And like he said, he's not scared to jump. And he's a hell of a defender. That's what you could say, man. Let it out. You know, you ain't got to be modest up here, bro.
So
and you
have great timing.
Great at trailing without fouling, which is key and difficult in the NBA. Do we want to pull up the question? We got a Twitter question. We'll do one.
That's going to be fun.
We'll do one Twitter question for you. This is our first of the day, so this is a special moment. Do we got that coming up here, Max? Okay, here we go. All right. From Elijah for D. White. Does the new haircut give you some more speed and agility, or is it just for the looks?
I hope it makes me a little faster, jump a little higher. I'll take any benefit that I can get from it. I mean, I had that dunk that went viral on Twitter. Everybody was talking about it. So hopefully it makes me a little faster, more aerodynamic, that's for sure. So I'll take all the benefits I can get.
We're looking forward to that.
How's your son doing?
He's good. Yeah, he's running around. Crazy, but it's been fun.
And another one on the way?
Yeah, I got one due in November, so it's gonna happen quick
just
here.
in time.
Boy, girl?
Another boy. And so it's going to be two boys taking over the house, and pray for my wife.
Yeah, God bless your soul trying to get some sleep during the middle of the NBA season having a baby. Oh, my goodness. Hey, one more question for you before we let you go. Last season, your three-point percentage jumped 7.5%. That's the biggest jump in your career. What's the key to maintaining that? Just because your spacing that you provided for the team last year was so critical to the offense, how do you keep that up there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just another thing I was focused on again this offseason, just consistent with the shot day in and day out. Obviously with JT, JB, now KP and Drew, like I'm gonna get good looks, and I just gotta be ready to go and knock them down when I get them, and space the floor for them and try to make their lives a little easier.
Did you change your shot or do anything from when you first got here? We went to the finals. We didn't win the finals. But the next season, it looked like you were getting the ball off quicker. Was that something that you have focused on and you continue to focus on that? Catch and shoot, understanding that how you're going to get your shots and where you're going to get your shots. Having that understanding, does that help you with your quick release? And is that something that you worked on?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my first year with Boston, I was thinking too much. So I was just focused on just catching it and letting it fly. And my whole teammates, the coaching staff were empowering me to shoot the shots. And so just if I got a good look, just let it fly and try to stay in it, not fade back and stuff like that. But just don't think and let it fly and get a good shot up there.
So I want to ask, JB's right over here. You guys were you went to the Colorado USC game. We're in the suites. He said you made him do the wave. Is that true? and KG and Paul Pierce were there too. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good times out there in Boulder right now.
Not as good as it was a few weeks ago, but
yeah, hey, it's still great times.
By the way, Boulder is a great city. I don't know if you guys ever.
I've never been.
I love Boulder.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty. You got to come out.
Yeah,
it's the place to be right now. what Prime's doing with that team is amazing. I was excited when JB said he wanted to go to the game, and he's a Buff fan now. He's a diehard Buff fan his whole life now, and we're happy to have him. And obviously with KG and Paul being there too, it's just good to see everybody.
Did you have to hit Prime up for tickets, or did you call your connection?
I still went to the men's basketball program.
Okay.
I got to stay with who I'm with. You know, I watched them. They had a little inter-squad scrimmage before the game, so I went and watched them, and I'm excited for that.
How they looking?
Year. I'm excited for them.
Okay.
They got like some good pieces, and we're gonna be good this year. So I'm excited for all Colorado in general.
What's your feeling on moving to the Big 12?
It's gonna be weird. Obviously, we were in the Big 12 before, but obviously I have some familiarity with that. But I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of great teams in the Big 12. I mean, I love the Pac-12, so it's going to be a little different.
I'm really sad about the Pac-12.
I am too.
Like, that is just, well, yeah, we both are. We're, yeah.
I'm like, man, I can't believe. And then the football.
Back to pack.
Yeah, back to pack. But this year, the football teams are all doing
really
great.
Good,
the best season they had, and they're all just getting dismantled.
It's too tough as last year.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm just wondering what they're going to do with my records. Like, if there's no Pac-12, like, well, okay, what happens? Do I just get lost in the shuffle?
No, I'll tell you exactly what you're going to have them forever.
I know I'm gonna have, but of course, because nobody. But I still think that I'm gonna have one of those records forever. It's not gonna get that 61.
Love it.
That ain't getting broke. That's tied with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of the time.
Humble brag.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's getting broken.
Nah, that's not gonna get touched.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It all starts up tomorrow. What's the tone that you guys are trying to set from day one of training camp?
I mean, we just talking about, like, we know what the end goal is, but we can't focus on that. We got to have a great regular season, and, I mean, that starts game one, just bringing that same attitude and mentality each and every game. We can't have those ups and downs that kind of we had last year that throughout the year. So no matter who the opponent is, no matter what team it is, we got to be ready to go and show that we're what team we think we are.
Jordan Wall said he's been going up against you one-on-one so far. He's learned a lot, but how has that been? And have you been giving him
fried
any
chicken?
advice?
You've been frying him, mate.
Hey, man, he's a good kid.
Poor guy.
For everybody out there, what he just meant that he's a good kid. He's been cooking him. He's been giving him a lesson. That's what's been happening.
Well, I'm excited for him. He's going to learn a lot this season, and he's willing to learn. So it's going to be great having him here. And I mean, I remember when I was a rookie, like everything happened so quick, especially quick after the draft. So I'm happy for how he's been getting better each and every day, and we got a good one.
Certainly sounds like everyone's been putting in the work.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's been a good summer.
Derek, we appreciate the time.
Thanks, D.
Yeah,
Can't wait to
you guys.
game one on Sunday. It's crazy. I can't even believe we're saying that, but good luck this season. We'll be there for every step of the way, man.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Good to see you guys again.
You too.
Thank you. All right, tonight at 8 p.m., catch a special Media Day edition of Celtics Post Up on NBC Sports Boston. Amina Smith, Brian Scalabrine, Eddie House, and Chris Forsberg have the best interviews of the day and preview the upcoming season. It's presented by Eastern Propane and Oil. They're in your neighborhood.
I mean, obviously, he can shoot it. It's crazy. One of the best shooters I've seen.
What a play by Hauser.
Hauser gets another one.
Professional man of leisure from the three-point line.
Outside. Yes, sir. That's what he's in there for.
Man, he is automatic out there.
You know, I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's getting the opportunity, and he's obviously making the most out of it. We're going to need him. He's going to play a role for this team this year.
Honestly, I think it goes back to my parents. They've instilled it in myself, my brother, and my sister to just work hard, give your best, and just be respectful of others. From a young age, I kind of just stuck my nose down and whatever sport I was playing. I used to play a lot of sports growing up. You know, I was going to give it my best and do the best I can at whatever I was told to do. So I think it started from an early age, but credit due to my parents on that one. When I first got out to Boston, it was kind of a culture shock. Coming from a small town in the Midwest in Wisconsin, going back and forth from the G League to Boston, kind of the first part of the year. It's definitely, that's a true grind, being a two-way. You're back and forth all the time. You hardly get to rest. That type of thing it's just crazy. It takes a lot out of you. It's draining, but it's all worth it. I mean, especially, you know, in my position, it worked out. You know, you put the work in, do your best in the game, show that you can have value with the big club, and maybe you'll get your chance.
He can shoot. Yo, Sam, you can shoot, bro. Real well.
You know, Sam can shoot. I mean, I tell him all the time.
Is he a better shooter than you?
Hell no. I tell him all the time, if I was that wide open, if people left me that wide open, and all I had to do was catch and shoot, I would make a lot more shots as well.
Did you hear him say that, or did you later on the clip that you saw it? Or?
Yeah, I saw the clip. Yeah, you know, he claims he's a better shooter than me, but you know, I don't think he thinks that's true. We'll see it. You know, we'll see.
No space at all.
Goes back out to Hauser for three.
That's what he does.
With a Hauser.
Hauser. Yeah. And Boston's going to lead.
You know, if it's me, great. If it's someone else, great. But, you know, I'll be ready if my number's called throughout the season. I'll be ready for my opportunities. I'm just really excited for the season to get going, and hopefully I can show that I can have value on this team and play off of these guys really well. And, you know, this is a dream of mine growing up as a little kid shooting on my mini hoop. I always wanted to be in the NBA, and it took a lot of time and effort in the gym, and a lot of shots were put up with my brother, my dad, my sister, my mom, and for it to all kind of come to fruition. And it's been pretty cool. It's been a pretty cool journey, but definitely never take it for granted, because there's a lot of people who would love to trade places with me, but got to continue to put the work in every day, so hopefully I can stick here and stay in the NBA.
Well, Jaylen Brown is with us now, and JB, a lot happened this offseason for this Boston Celtics team, also for you, the last 24 hours, but getting the opportunity now to be joined by Jrue Holiday, just your reaction to that news when you heard and when you found out.
A little bittersweet. I mean, obviously, Rob and Malcolm are two really good friends of mine. You know, Malcolm being from the same hometown, and Rob just being like, you know, with him for so long. It's like, you know, going through like high school and middle school kind of with somebody been 6 years. It's like somebody that you've grown with, you learn with. So for him no longer to be around, initial reaction, it stings a little bit, but, you know, it's life. I know those guys are going to kill it where they're at, and I welcome Jrue. Jrue is an assassin. He's a killer, somebody that I got to play against in the playoffs, and I've guarded. He's guarded me. So, you know, true competitor, a lot of respect for him.
You talked about him guarding you. I want to know what your take is on what he brings to the table defensively, and why is he so good at that end of the floor? Yeah, he plays with like a force that people don't necessarily understand. Like certain players, you know, have like, you know, just a force, a gravity about him, you know what I mean? Especially when the game is on the line in the playoffs, his will, his relentlessness, you know, he can really push his team and propel his team forward. That like some other players don't possess. You know, Jrue has that energy level that like when he wants to win and he's all in, it can be hard to beat a man like that. Can we get something out there right now just before we keep going? What's it feel like to be the longest tenured Boston Celtic? Is that insane?
It is.
I can't believe that is true and real. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, I'm getting old. That's what that means.
That means we're getting old.
So I asked JT this. When you are at the top, you guys, all NBA players, pretty much can do everything out on the court. what specifically did you focus on this summer that you felt like, hey, man, I know I'm really, really, really good, but there are some things that I feel that I'm deficient in, and I need to attack that. What was one of those things, or what was those things that you attacked, if any?
It was really everything. I think sort of how I've always approached growth is, just look in the mirror and try to get better and push yourself. So I pushed myself at everything. It's probably the hardest I've worked in the summer,
And that's saying a lot.
Right. So
you get better every year.
Exactly. So I'm excited. There was a lot of talk around, how we ended the season. And, I'm ready to come out and show the world that, one, I can get a whole lot better. And two, I ain't played my best basketball yet.
It was another question I asked JT as well. I asked him, does he plan on trying to be an all-NBA defensive player to make that team? And his answer was absolutely. Same question to you.
Same answer. I think, in different spots, we've always had pretty good defensive teams. Some even great, we've had on the defensive side of the ball. And we've all shared responsibility in certain roles. And sometimes that, can create a little bit of a comfort, But, this summer, I plan on challenging myself more throughout the season to take on more challenges, meet more guys at the rim, make more plays on the defensive side of the ball that I know I'm capable of. Not just doing it in the playoffs or doing it when, I'm asked of it, just doing it more often. I think I could be one of the better defenders in the game today. So just trying to challenge myself to be better, push myself to be more. So I'm looking forward to that as well, and I know Jayson is looking forward to that too.
The thing that stands out to me about that conversation is you made that comment on your own with a comment on Instagram that you want to make all defensive team. Jayson did it unprovoked in an interview that he gave to The Messenger. These guys saying this on their own, right? Like, you just asked a question, but they've said it on their own. Like, you guys want to get out there and defend at a high level. Why do you think that is necessary to get you guys, and that's not to say that you guys haven't already. You have. Like, we all know that you guys wouldn't be a great defensive team if you both weren't great. But why is it so important to you guys to getting over the hump for you two to be elite defensive players this season?
I think defense is something that, is so important in our game, but doesn't necessarily get always highlighted. I think right now, through media, through what's celebrated is what your offensive ability is. So sometimes you pay less attention to what's going on defense. Even our better players in the game, we don't even talk about their defensive liabilities or whatever the case may be. We don't look at that as like a whole game. There's two sides to the ball, and as you get older and you start to realize about the game of basketball, there's a lot of different ways you can affect winning. And challenging yourself on the defensive side of the ball is always going to help a team win, right? So setting the tone for our team, setting the tone going forward. I think, and me and Jayson, we haven't talked about it together. I think we just both was on the same type of time. Like, we both want to just push ourselves and be better and be the best we possibly can be on both ends, not just on offense but on defense too. And I'm willing to accept that challenge, and I know he is well.
This offseason, you signed the largest contract in NBA history.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations again. And we'll get into that. But just what does that do for the NBA as a league and as a whole in general, of just being able to pay players and for what they're worth?
I think it does a lot. I think the NBA is continuing to expand, globalizing the game. I think the initiatives of the NBA have been, well partaken. The game is going to continue to get bigger. Different parts of the world, you can see it spreading now. So to be able to compensate players according to the growth of the game makes a lot of sense. Also, to be able to include retired players and players that help push the league to where it is at now, finding some type of means of income for them, like even participating in the Big Three was a part of that. So, the NBA has grown a lot, and the players have a lot to do with that. So I think the players should be, compensated accordingly.
And for you,
go ahead. No,
I was
go
just
ahead.
going to say, for you personally, what does it mean to know that the Celtics are invested in you long term and really building around you?
It feels great. At the same time, it's a lot of work. So, this summer, I've been preparing my body, my mind, and everything to take on whatever challenge is necessary. Obviously, when you do historic things, history is expected from you. So I'm excited to help lead my team as far as we can possibly go. I'm ready to win. I'm ready to challenge. I'm ready to lead. And it's great being here.
And the most encouraging thing about talking to the two leaders on the team, right, you and Jayson, is the fact that you guys are saying you're willing to embrace the challenge of being the best defenders that you could be and trying to chase down an all-NBA defensive team. Well, that's going to be a trickle-down effect, and it starts tomorrow with you guys. I mean, you guys set that tone, and, you know, Drew's going to come in and do his thing, set his tone, and, you know, Derek's going to do what he does. And now you're talking about you guys adding that and just the defensive versatility that you guys will be able to have. I think that in itself is going to make you guys successful. If that's the mentality, because what's going to happen, you guys are going to get stops, you guys are going to get turnovers, which leads to more possessions, and you guys are super talented on the offensive end, which is going to cause a lot of problems for other teams. So I'm excited and encouraged about the fact that you guys, as the leaders, are taking it upon yourself to say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. And again, you guys are talking about it, and I know that you guys are going to be about it. And it starts tomorrow. And you're going to have to bring all the other guys with them. You know, Peyton, you know, the second unit, going to have to challenge you guys. And you guys have to challenge them to challenge you. They have to challenge you guys to challenge them. And that's how you guys are going to be able to win a championship, is that not day in and day out, you guys are working with each other, building each other up, and getting the best out of each other. Squeeze out every little drop that you guys could get out of each other. That's how you guys are going to win this championship.
Yes, sir.
This is knowledge drop right here. Amanda and I are just like, here, no, this is great stuff. This is great stuff. But in alluding to what Eddie is talking about right there is kind of like more of a leadership opportunity. I think Brad has spoken about that publicly, that, you know, you're the longest tenured Celtic now. Marcus, unfortunately, is no longer with the team. But that does open up an opportunity for you and Jayson to have even more of an influence from a leadership perspective. Why do you embrace that? And what is your leadership style? Because I know you and Jayson are not the guys that are screaming in the locker room or screaming on the court. That's not how you guys do it. So what's your leadership style?
I don't know. You might see me.
Yeah? All right, let's go.
Different this year.
It might be a little different this year.
All right.
No, I don't mind. You know, I always want to go with the flow of the team. You know, so we've always had a lot of voices kind of going on in the locker room. And even last year we had Grant, Blake, Smart, all very vocal guys. So, you know, you don't always want to overstep or say too much, but, you know, I think this year we got more, you know, quieter guys, so I think there is some room for some voices to speak up, and I don't mind being one of them.
I'm looking forward to that. When I see you scream on the court or I hear about it in the locker room, I'm going to he told us. He told us. He hinted.
And sometimes, you know, it doesn't take that, like what he's saying. It doesn't take. It's example. I'll tell you what, KG was very vocal, right? But the one thing about it, when we came to practice, he's already in the full. I'm coming late, dragging, right? I'm coming in thinking I'm, you know, 8 years in, I'm a vet, and I see the best player, one of the best players in the world, fully drenched in sweat. Now, what that does is put a foot in. I'll kick myself in the ass, like, oh, you know, I gotta go, man. How can I can't let him down. Like, look, he's not going to let me down. I can't let him down. And so sometimes it's not even, you don't have to be boisterous. You don't have to be vocal. Your actions can speak volumes. So I think it's many different ways to lead. It doesn't have to be, Rob, but you'll find out. You know when you're going to have to step on somebody's, you know, cross that line and say, hey, we got to get it going, and you'll know when your example is the leadership that they need at that point. So it's a fine line to balance, but I know you up for it, man, and you're going to do a great job in that role.
Yes, sir.
One more thing that I want to talk to you about that we haven't gotten a lot of player perspective on today is the new coaching staff. You got Sam Cassell in, you got Charles Lee in. These are two guys who have won championships. What stands out to you about those two guys and them being combined with Joe Mazzulla in the top of the staff?
I think it's great. It adds some like veteran presence to our coaching staff. Obviously, last year we had Damon, who was the older coach, but he ended up moving on to Georgia Tech, which I'm excited for him in his jersey. But adding Sam, who one has been a Celtic, one as a Celtic, and now here, having that veteran presence, I think is going to be great for us. Same thing with Charles, having that experience of winning. Already, they've both been very, very vocal, and already they've been straight shooters. You know what I mean? They don't always have to agree with you or the coaching staff. They're going to get a perspective, and I think that adds to the value of our group. You know, we don't need anybody like, you know, treading any waters or anything like that. We all in this together, so to have that what's the word I'm looking for? Transparency.
Yep.
Yeah. Having that transparency amongst one another is going to be key. So we got to make sure we're on the same page.
I had to help you. That's my Arizona State University education.
He jumped quick. He was really good.
You're talking to Cal right here, okay? Come on.
You know, I can't stand Cal. They didn't recruit me, man.
Oh.
Yeah, but I got nothing against him. That's the only reason why. I'm from the Bay Area, so my mom used to work at Cal. So I used to go to their campus when I was a little kid and walk around and like imagine I was gonna go there.
Wow.
They didn't send me a question. They didn't even send me. They didn't want to know what my favorite book was. I was like, oh,
You're
man.
still bitter.
I am bitter. That's why I gave him 61.
So that's it?
Yeah, that's why I gave it to him.
61. But hey, that's what happens when you got a little motivation in your shoes,
know,
right?
I like that.
Yeah, I had to help you out one time. Yeah, man, but you know what, though? Really, though, talk about this, your versatility on defense. I don't think we hit on that yet. Talk about how excited you are, or are you anticipating how you guys can really cause some damage on the defensive end with all the versatility you got between Derek, between you, between Drew, JT, and Porzingis or Al or whoever you throw in there, Pritchard. I mean, I think we got dogs from top to bottom on the defensive end.
And I'm excited. I'm excited about the end of the ball because I was excited before the season, before we got Drew. Now it's like I'm even more excited. But at the same time, I'm like,
teams are not.
You know,
we ain't worried about them.
We focus on us. But I'm excited because like now it's like it's gonna be a little competitive. Like it's gonna be nice with Drew's. I'm gonna be like, nah, I want it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we got to get after it, and I want us to compete like that on the defensive end of the ball. But we can't just expect teams to see us and think that they're not gonna try to go at us. We got to go out there and be on the hunt. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to making guys uncomfortable. I'm looking forward to playing with some energy and some presence that for a duration of a season, which is sometimes harder to do, and taking on an offensive burden, but getting your body in the right shape is a key to that. And this summer, that's what I've been focusing on, making sure my body has been able to do both at a high level for a longer period of time. So I'm excited, man. I think we got a lot of options, a lot of opportunities, a lot of versatility. We can switch. We can go a big lineup, a small lineup. Mm-hmm. We can guard in a lot of different ways. Even the young guys, we got guys that had just got introduced to the team like Brissett and Walker and Jordan Walsh, who are all hungry on the defensive end. Those are young, three little dogs right there that nobody even talking about. And then we just excited, man. Like we got a good group, and we got to make sure we take advantage of every opportunity.
Really does seem like there's a lot of energy coming out of the building. I mean, you guys had your first meeting with Joe this morning. It all starts tomorrow. What are you looking forward to most on day one?
Day one, focus, attention to detail, but also a certain assertiveness, a seriousness to it. Ain't nothing to joke about. Ain't nothing funny about losing in the conference finals or losing in the finals the year before. So yeah, we gonna have fun, and it's gonna be time for that. But this season, we got to have that focus level from day one.
Well, kick the dough down.
Let's go.
Kick the dough down.
Yes, sir.
JB, man, we appreciate you coming on, and I wasn't able to be there when you signed the contract. I was out of the country, but I want to say to you face-to-face, congratulations. Man, you put in the work since day one, since you've been here. You earned every dollar, and I can't wait to see what you guys accomplish this year.
I appreciate you, my brother.
All right.
Yes,
thanks, JB.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
All right. The Celtics play their first preseason game on Sunday when they host the 76ers. Our coverage starts at 5:30 p.m. with Celtics pregame live. It's presented by TD Bank.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. We have one more player left. I can't believe this has just gone by so fast today, but just getting the feel for the guys, the excitement. I feel like we're just ready to go tomorrow, too.
That's why
start training camp.
That's why it went by so fast. We're having fun. Guys are excited. Everybody in the building is excited. All the players are anticipating tomorrow. So it was just a lot of fun. You know, when you're having fun, time flies.
And listen, there's some media days where they say that there's an extra, like a heightened level of intensity and emotion and energy. And there's other years where, like, you know it's true. Like, it feels real this year. It feels like these guys cannot wait to get out on the court tomorrow and start this journey together. And I think that, like we were talking about earlier, Eddie, before Jayson Tatum rudely sat down and interrupted my comment, it starts from the top. And, like, ownership and Brad have committed to bringing in the top-level talent to give this team a chance to win right now. We're not talking about next year in the year. We're talking about right now. And I think that has trickled down into the locker room of, like, all right, boys, like, it's time. Like, we made it to the conference finals last year. We made it to the finals the year before. No. It's time to get over that hump now.
Right, and not only did he bring in top-tier talent, he brought in top-tier coaching staff to help Joe Mazzulla, you know, and so when you look at all of the moves that were made, they're all championship moves. They're all geared with the understanding that the window is open and you have to seize the moment and take advantage of it and try to do everything you can to take advantage of it. And I think they didn't hold any stops. They did everything they could to make sure that this team was going to be the most competitive that they could put together.
I think these guys have sat down here today, right? And obviously it's tough to lose Marcus Smart. It's tough to lose Rob Williams. These guys have long-lasting relationships with those two guys, but I think they've acknowledged, like, these moves have been to make us better. We are better today than we were at the end of last season, and there's nothing more that you can ask for from an organization than to be continuously trying to improve your roster. For the players, that's all they can ask for. For the fans, that's all they can ask for, and that's why everyone is so jacked up about the season. I'm ready for preseason game number 1 on Sunday. I just want to see what these guys look like together. So it's coming in hot.
Well, and I'm excited to. I mean, we're not going to hear, unfortunately, from Drew Holiday today, but hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to get a chance to talk to him, an opportunity
sometime soon.
And him coming to Boston, joining this team, and obviously what he wants to bring. But before we get Porzingis in here, Eddie, I was commenting on your interview with Al Horford and just his time in the league and how he's kind of staying ready, and those moments, what you said when you hit January, February, and you're not really sure how you're going to get through it, and him having kind of just a way to work through it. How did you work through it when you were playing and when it got really tough?
Well, I wasn't that, like, didn't play. I played 11 years. So my last year, I didn't know it was my last year, actually. Just didn't get no more phone calls. But when you are in those dog days, you have to find a way to psych yourself out because it does get monotonous. You know, the pregame meal, the same meal. You know, your sleep pattern, the same sleep pattern. And when you're driving to the arena, you probably listen to the same music. So it gets kind of repetitive. It gets very repetitive. And so you have to try to trick yourself into getting yourself. And sometimes you go in that garden, it's freezing cold. So you were like, okay, how do I warm up? Now you got to start tricking yourself. Oh, you know what? Whatever it is, mind games you could play. And I'll tell you who was the best at it was KG. KG talked. People thought he was talking to other players a lot. A lot of that time, he's talking to himself. And he'll throw some stuff at somebody if he walked by him. But if he's over in his So he played a lot of mental games with himself to get himself ready, and that's kind of what I piggybacked off of that. Like, oh, okay, that's why he's always crazy and ready to go, is because he's psyching himself out. And me coming off the bench, that's what I would have to do, things like that. You know, get warm, looking at the game, act like I'm in the game so I could be loose. I'm physically in the game, mentally into the game, so when I get in the game physically, I already know how it's going. I know what plays to call for people. I know where I'm going to get my shots. I know who's going to be trying to attack me and things like that. So it's so many different ways that you could try to motivate yourself. And I think in itself with Al being going in his 17th year, I think that's motivation alone. You got the championship and everything else that you're going to be focused on, but it is one day at a time. The championship is way down the road. You don't get there if you don't take care of each day. So with Al, it's very impressive. And I hope he gets 20, actually.
That would be awesome.
There's not that many people that have it, right?
Make it to 20.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for a big man,
right?
Like almost never happens. One other thing that I want to ask you about, Eddie, is the establishment of relationships early on in training camp, because that's what these guys are about to do, right? Like Kristaps, it's his first season here. Drew, it's his first season here. A bunch of the guys on the bench, first season here. You told me a story one time about, I think you and KG in the locker room, right, where you were like, no, this is how I get ready. You get ready for the game your way, I get ready for the game my way. How long does it take for all of the players in the locker room to like understand what makes everyone tick, to understand their ins and outs of who they are as players and people?
It's quickly if you have communication. If somebody doesn't say anything and it just festers and bothers, then it blows up into something bigger. But when KG said what he said to me, I said what I said, like, hey, well, this is how I get ready, though. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to get ready. But I respect your line over there, respect my line. Okay, cool. And now we move on. But I think the one thing about that 08 team that was unique and brought us together faster was we had to go to Italy. So we were forced to kick it with each other. You know, language barrier over there, you really can't talk to anybody. We were forced to hang out. I think 7 or 8 guys all shaved their head bald. And so we were forced to hang out, so we went to dinner together. We hung out, just going out, being in a room, playing cards, and we created that camaraderie where when you're having a training camp that's at home, you come to camp and then you go home. Well, I thought that brought us together a whole lot faster because of the fact that we weren't at home when we were on the road. Big fella.
We got a big 7'3" forward coming down onto the set. What's up, Kristaps? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you again.
We got a microphone for you, and here we go.
I know.
Amanda, take it away.
First media day. How has today been going for you with your new team?
It's been good. It's been good so far. Not my first one. First one here. No?
Yes.
First one here.
Yeah.
Certainly not your first.
Right. But yeah, it's been going great, and I'm very excited.
You told me back in June after the introduction here that this was a place that you wanted to be. You wanted to be here, and specifically because you want to win. But now that you have been here, right, you've had some time to learn the guys out on the court over the last couple of weeks. You've had a chance to learn the organization a little bit. What are you liking about what you're seeing and what you're feeling and hearing?
The energy is great here. Obviously, we all understand that we have a goal. Everybody's brought in here for a goal, and just the thought of that itself, I think, just gives extra motivation to everybody to come up, come here, go into the season, just ready to get to work, and put that work in daily so we can get where we want to get to.
Everyone that I've talked to in the organization who has been watching you work out and talk to you has told me that you come across as selfless. Like you don't care what your numbers are going to. You want them to be great, obviously, because you want to be a great player. But as long as it's contributing to winning, that's all you care about. Where did that mindset come from, and how has that developed throughout the course of your career?
Yeah, honestly, I think it comes with age. I've been around the league a little bit, and at the end, that's what matters, is winning. If you put up, I had different opportunities to go somewhere else and maybe have a bigger role and maybe even make more money, but I wanted to come here. I wanted to come to Boston just because of the opportunity to play in such a iconic organization with great players that are already here, that are very close, and hopefully I can come in here and bring more to that. And that the idea of that itself just was, I didn't need to hear anything else. And now that I'm here, it's an incredible feeling.
I like what I'm hearing.
You have been on different teams and different organizations, and you just hit on it. This is an iconic organization. Talk about the difference that you've seen, because I played in some bad organizations, and you could see the level just from top to bottom. Just talk about the organization itself and the people here, not only people that are on your team, the coaching staff, but also everybody else, all the staff that's involved. Talk about the organization.
Definitely, I think it from the top down, just top-notch people, professionals. Just knowledgeable people that have made all of that correct and organized to everybody feels like they're valued in the organization, and everybody's always giving their all and their best. And you can feel that. I think everybody feels good being in this kind of environment, and this kind of environment brings out the best out of people.
What would you say? I got something, because I've talked to some people that played in this game, and when I was talking about what we were having a discussion, right? And I'm not going to say any names who I was talking to, but we were having a discussion, and I brought you up and was saying like what a great addition is going to be, and I was thinking about the offensive end, thinking about what you could bring, and their first thing they said was, well, he has never averaged 10 rebounds in his career. Well, I don't think you're going to have to average 10 rebounds. I mean, you could go get them if you need. Talk about what you're going to bring to this team on the defensive end on that side of the ball. Because we know what you could do offensively. I mean, you're unbelievable.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think what has went under the radar a little bit is the type of defensive season I had last year. I took a lot of pride in bouncing back from years that I wasn't as good defensively. Because of different things and injuries, and of course I worked my way back into that. And last season was a really good defensive year also for me, and I look forward to bringing that to even a higher level here, And offensively, as you said, I think we're gonna sooner or later we'll figure out how to play together and just hit that rhythm, and it's gonna be really, really hard to stop us. But I think where we can get even better is each individually step it up defensively, and then as a unit, and then we'll be at that different level.
And talking about defense, Eddie, he was one of the best in the league among all the bigs last season in pick and roll defensive ability, and the numbers there, what they showed. But a couple other numbers that I want to point out. I'm not sure if you know about this. You're the only player in NBA history who has averaged at least 2 made three-pointers and at least 1.5 blocks per game in multiple seasons. How crazy is that? The only player in NBA history, multiple threes and at least 1.5 blocks per game in the history of the NBA. I think we can all go through the Rolodex of players who have played in the NBA. You're the only one who's done it. What's that mean to you?
Yeah, no, that's a.
Did you know that?
I did not know that. Okay. I was the only one I did not know that. But I think
I stumped him. Let's go.
But I think the game is changing, right? A lot more big shooting threes, so we're going to see more of that. I think maybe I'm just one of those first guys that was getting the blocks and already shooting a lot of threes, right? So I think it's only a matter of time. We have Wemby coming into the league, all these young guys that are 7-footers shooting incredible from outside and blocking shots and so on. So. Yeah, it's but that's the stats are, you can always pull something out that kind of this is the first guy.
Own that one. Own that one. Just take it for now.
Of course.
Own it until Wemby does it too. Okay. By the way, I can't wait to see you guys face off. What do you know about him?
I mean, he's just a different type of human. His body, his arms. I think he's going to be one of those guys that you play against, how people feel against, for example, Gobert or myself. That he's actually taller than he looked like. He blocked that shot, but I think Wemby is going to be at 3 levels above that.
Yeah.
He's going to block some threes where you don't expect him to be even close and things like that. So. Yeah, I think he's going to be a very, very special player. He just might need a little bit of time to get adjusted to everything.
You were already wanting to join this Boston Celtics team with Jaylen and Jayson, and now after the news yesterday, Drew Holiday joining this Celtics team. What's the excitement and just the level of that, knowing that you guys are, going to be really, really good this season?
Amanda called you guys the Avengers.
It felt like Brad was forming an Avengers team.
Yeah, I think the talent that has been brought together, I don't know who else has that. Obviously some other teams are making some moves, but we have brought in some incredible players and some experienced players that have already done big things in this league. And it's in our hands. As I said, it's in our hands to fulfill our potential and prove that we are what we say we are.
One thing that you bring to this team that it just simply did not have last season, especially in a big way, is post scoring. Mm-hmm. You were second in the league among bigs last season in post shooting percentage at 61%. When you get the ball in the post, what's your go-to move? How are you trying to gain an advantage? When you get the ball there, what's going through your mind? Even though you always have an advantage with your height.
That's true. That is true. I think it's Yeah, a couple summers ago. I would say I want to give some credit to my friend and my trainer, who's a very big numbers guy, and he told me the reality. You know, I wasn't as effective, so I looked at my game. I looked at the things I was doing and how I could improve. And post was something I kind of was always in my game, but I just knew I had to be more effective to be elite. You know, and then and just perfection to some simple moves really, because you know with my height I'm able to shoot over guys and just create a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of space, and last season I was one of the most effective in the league, and I like that I'll be able to add like a different dimension also to this team, you know, being able to post up and create from there, and if there's double teams then I can, you know, hit my open teammates, and I'm excited about that. And yeah, shout out to Janis, my trainer.
Just to recap, one of the best in the league scoring out of the post, one of the best defending the pick and roll at the other end of the court. That's a pretty good combination.
Numbers are sounding good. What are you most excited about tomorrow? Like getting started, what are you most excited about?
You know how it is. It's like this is my 9th year in the league, but every year it's like, man, I'm excited. Like for that first practice, that first like, you just get a little bit of like that nerves, or like I'm ready to go, you know. And then that first game, first preseason game, everything is just a fresh beginning each year, you know. And this is a big stage that I haven't been on in a while, with great players around me, great challenges ahead of us. And what else can I ask for?
Have you ever been on a team that was championship headed to win a championship, coming in and everybody is talking about it? Have you ever been on a team where?
Well, Dallas,
yeah.
You know, we had big expectations. We were both years that I was there, we were fifth seed. You know, so we were not that far off. But I think this is a different level.
And you can feel it.
And I can feel it. Yeah. I can feel it. You know. So yeah, as I said, this is a big challenge for us. Big challenge, you know, especially with the expectations going into the season. Take it day by day and do what we need to do.
With that championship talk, obviously that's expectations, right? And we kind of just talked about it there. You haven't been in that type of situation before. Why are you ready to shoulder those expectations and to perform when it matters most?
Listen, I don't care. I have full confidence in myself and my skill set. I have full confidence that I will do what's necessary for the team to win games. And if that's having, for this matchup, not playing in a certain way, I will, believe me, I am there in my career where I just want to win. And that's why I'm here, and I just don't see it not working. You know, of course you need to have a little bit of luck. Everybody has to stay healthy. We have to have, you know, all these things also help us, but what we can control, we're going to control, and I'm excited.
And that's why Brad wanted to bring this man in. Kristaps Porzingis, man, we appreciate the time.
Yep.
Good luck this season. We can't wait to see you out there.
Quickly before you go, I hear that
yes, I can't forget this.
You're really into ping pong. That's like
Love
something.
ping pong.
Okay, do you want to?
Here's your paddle.
I mean, we can.
You want to serve one over here to
I
Eddie?
got one for you too, Mark. If you want, we just need the net. We could use the monitor as the net. But
let's see if we can go back and forth here.
Oh, look, he just did.
Wait,
I'm actually
hold on.
using
Before we get into
left
this,
hand.
How you did that?
there is you know this. There is a ping pong table in the players' lounge at the facility.
Just before I came over here, we set up the table. For the first time, I played against one of the best players I've heard in the organization. It's Steve. He's one of our physical therapists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember.
Oh, he must have got you. He got you.
I don't remember.
Convenient amnesia.
But look, I need to get back. I'm a little bit rusty. You know, I haven't played for a little bit.
You've been worrying about basketball.
Exactly, but this is important also.
All right, give us a serve to end the day.
Right now?
Let's do it.
Oh man!
Oh no!
Oh, we see why he lost.
Hey. This table is broken. That's what happened.
Okay.
All right, folks.
We can do it again if we need.
That didn't just happen. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Ball. Do you want to? Redemption.
Another one.
Redemption.
You want one more? All right.
Ready?
Okay.
Yeah, we've seen
hey,
that's
enough
why
of the ping pong.
Steve gonna be taking your money.
All right, Amanda, take us home.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. We're really looking forward to tomorrow. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Just stay tuned. We have a lot coming to you from training camp this week.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck this week.